it's felt like it's been forever. Happy, it's done. That's what today is. Today is It's Done Day. July the 5th year of our Lord 2023. Hi, I'm Pugs Moran. Welcome to the High Noon Report. Feels so good. Does it feel good to be back at work? Probably not. And that's understandable. You may not have the luxury, luxury. I don't know. You could also call it a curse of doing this. I love doing my job. So it is really nice to be back, but I don't mean to rub it into you. I mean, I live in basic poverty. So, I do this. I'm like a martyr here, a martyr for non-divisive, non-political talk radio, which is something that desperately trying to bring back. I mean, the only place I know where you can get it around these parts is the Freak. And there you go. Although I'm doing something a little bit different. What we do here on this show every Monday through Friday at noon is we like to give you everything that you need to know. James Parker, who co-hosts the nighttime stream, that's the Radio Misfits show. The Radio Misfits show every Monday through Thursday at 9 p.m. right here on the Radio Misfits streaming network and podcast platform. James Parker always says that well, James Parker always says a lot of things. Never mind. I don't want to get distracted by that. Anyway, the point of the matter is that we do two shows every day. We do this one, the noon show. We do the nighttime show. This one, utilitarian. See, that's what James was going to make fun of me about. James always says the show isn't utilitarian. I say, yes, it is. And here's why. Because you don't want to be out and about and some idiot comes up to you. And by the way, everybody else is an idiot, right? That's you're you and everybody else is an idiot except the people you like. Some idiot comes up to you and goes, hey, did you hear about? And then you have to go, no, I didn't hear about that. And then you're trapped. You're trapped listening to this person tell you about some event that happened today. That's why you come here. When you come here, I give you a little bit of everything that's happening in the world. We run through the headlines, the hot topics, the trends, whatever it is people are buzzing about. I'm going to give you cocktail party knowledge of the subject. So that should anyone ever come up to you and go, hey, do you know about, you can go, yes, in fact, I do, because I listen to the High Noon Report with Pugs Moran every Monday through Friday on the Radio Misfits Network. Again, we're non-divisive. We don't do politics. We're not going to get it. Although there's stuff. There's always stuff. Like I like to make fun of the politics, but I try not to take a side. I don't want to take a side. There's no, I don't understand what is wrong with some people. There are so many of us out there running around. I saw it at the lake. I was out at the lake all weekend. By the way, a lake observation, like 30 of us on like 3 different boats, 6 hours, hot sun, 4th of July, pounding beers. Not one person said, I got to use the bathroom. I didn't hear that once. Everybody's just peeing in the lake, I guess. And nobody's saying nothing about it. 30 people. If you had 30 people in a bar and you were just drinking for 2 hours, at some point, numerous groups would start going, you tap the kidneys. Anyway, but that's not did you have a good 4th of July? I did. I had a good 4th of July. I had a great 4th of July. I got my kid with me. My kid is with me for like, whatever, that's kind of the nice thing about the summers. He stays here until he doesn't want to be here anymore. And then he goes, I want to go home and I miss my dog. And then he'll go home and don't even get me started on the dog. You might notice for many of these noon shows, my co-host who sits alongside of me is CeeLo the dog. CeeLo is a real character. Let me tell you. Oh, I told you on Monday about the situation where she embarrassed me on George Michael. That's right, the Wham guy. George Michael, the Wham guy, has a house in this neighborhood, or used to. He's dead. But she embarrassed me. She ran up and tried to murder one dog in George Michael's yard and then probably have sex with the other one because CeeLo's really horny. Anyway, she has been nuts because of the fireworks. And when we came home from the lake yesterday, after swimming in pee for 6 hours, when we came home from the lake yesterday, oh my God, she had, you can't blame her. It's fireworks, right? And she's probably freaking out. And she was left alone for like 7 hours yesterday, 8 hours, whatever it was. And she's fine. She's got the run of the yard. She's got a doggy door. She come in and out. She's got the whole run of the house. She's good. She got a hold of some garbage, man, and she dragged it into her bed. And I walked in it wasn't good. Also, she's she's so finicky last night. She was like being real snappy. And I know it's because she's probably got PTSD and she's hearing all of these pops. How were your dogs? Were your dogs freaked out? So the dog isn't with me, is my point. The dog is down with the boy. The boy is here. So he's downstairs complaining about how there's no food. What, you know why there's no food? You know why there's no food? He's like, there's no food. And I go, yeah, you know why there's no breakfast? Breakfast, there's food. There's no breakfast. I go, you know why there's no breakfast? I told him to go make some noodles. Go, yeah, you're hungry. Go have some watermelon. If you're hungry, there's stuff to eat. I mean, not a lot, but there's stuff to eat. We didn't have any breakfast this morning because one of the things that the dog did yesterday was my son left his box of Lucky Charms on the counter. And during all the mayhem of fireworks and the dog losing his nut, the dog jumped up on the counter, grabbed the entire box of Lucky Charms and ate them. Just ate them all. So that might have explained the weirdness of the dog last night. She might have been on like just an unbelievable sugar rush. Who knows? All right, let's see here. Who do we got to thank? We got to do a couple of things, some heavy lifting. Thank you to our friends at Sacred Oils, 13740 Midway Road in Farmers Branch. They helped the show out with a donation, and so we are just going to keep singing their praises. We love them. Sacred Oils, 13740. Number of you have gone in there to get your CBDs, your Delta, your CBDs. You got the sore muscles. You're seeing these ads everywhere. If you're going to choose a place to go, and there are endless options to choose, check out Sacred Oils, especially if you listen to the show, because they helped us, so you can help them. And 20% off. All you got to do is say Pugs 20. You want your Deltas? You want your CBDs? Like, the CBDs are like, I've got arthritis and I need to try this. But they've got other stuff too. They got gummies. They got Deltas. They got all the THCPs, all the stuff that I swear used to be illegal, but now it's perfectly legal. And you can get it. You can get it at Sacred Oils, 13740 Midway Road in Farmers Branch. Also, I'll get this out of the way now, and we're going to leave it up the whole show because we're in desperate straits here for tips. If you guys can tip the show, please. Help the show out. We kind of blew through the end of the month when we usually do our best, and we blew through it because it was over a weekend, and most people really get us across the finish line between now or between the end of the month, like the 30th and the 3rd. That's when we really crossed the finish line, and we didn't get there. We're about $200 short easily. So if you can help out the show, help us out, help us keep doing this non-divisive every day. Hot topics, fun topics. We try to have fun, and we try to all just get along and spend some time. Chat room's here. I'm liking the chat room. Also, something that I decided to do while having a conversation with somebody at the lake yesterday. You'll notice the stream, the scroll at the bottom. Those are all the people who have supported the show this month. And I don't want to put last names because, look, some of you are so high profile in the chat room around here. You're like, you're important. So I will never put, look, we've received tips on this show as high as, we received a $400 tip once. I mean, that's freaking incredible. That really helps out. That takes the pressure off the rest of the month for sure. Some people tip as low as $2. That's beautiful. I make no distinction. So I don't want to. Now, obviously, we need more of the bigger tips than the $2 tips. But thank you, because you guys don't have to do this. I know that there's a number of streamers out there, and everybody does this, and everybody has their accounts and all that stuff. But I really appreciate it that you help support this show. So we've been able to do that now for a while. Although we do need the help. Get us across the finish line this month, please. Anything that you can do will greatly be appreciated. Okay, what do you say we get started? Let's start. And I'm going to leave that scrolling down there on the bottom. I'll leave those names for this month. And as we get new ones, we'll add them and all of that. So thank you, folks. All right, let's get started with today's show. It is the High Noon Show for the 5th day of July, year of our Lord, 2022. Hokey schmokels, I cannot believe it's over. Just boy, oh boy. Didn't this feel like somebody said to me last night? We were out on the lake all day. Then we went back to the dock. We had like a barbecue there on the dock, which was so nice. E from the nighttime show. E and his wife, they just put out such a spread for everybody. All they care about is, that everybody else has a good time, to the point that I don't think they have a good time. You know what I mean? That the people who throw the great parties, it's like they never seem to be enjoying themselves. Even though E does have the alter ego of the Prince of Party Cove. Oh, by the way, he saved somebody's life again this weekend. Yeah. Yeah, he's done that twice now in Hollywood, where, he's had to put on his Avenger outfit, hop on a jet ski, and get out there and save somebody. I'm sure we'll talk about all of that tonight on the Radio Misfits show at 9:00. So last night we get back to the dock and we're barbecuing, and people are like, "Oh, we're gonna go watch the 4th of July fireworks." And I felt like last night, I felt like I had been watching 4th of July fireworks for 4 days now, right? It all started on Friday. I mean, on Friday, there were fireworks. On Saturday, all the cities did their big fireworks. And on Sunday, people were doing fireworks. Monday, apparently a bunch of people did and then a whole bunch of people did fireworks again yesterday. So I am beat down from this 4 days of just vacation, I guess, if you can call it that. You need a vacation from a vacation. Oh, it's so funny. It's so witty. That's never been said before. All right, let's get into the show. Here's how we do the show. We like to do it in segments. I tell you everything that you need to know about today, all the stuff that's happening. But before we do that, we like to go through the past. We go through a portion I call previously on, or more to the point, erstwhile on this day. This is where we go through all the events that occurred on previous episodes of July the 5th. And they're not a whole lot. Not a whole lot today, if I'm being honest with you. Then we go into birthdays. We talk about people who were born on this day. We go through their life's work. We decide, what's up with that. And then we move on to people who have passed away today. We look at the people who died, and we decide if we care or not. And I know that sounds cold, but, look, 2 things we hold true on this show. 1, a lot of a-holes out there. 2, everybody dies. So therefore, a-holes die every day. And we just go through some of these names of significant people who've made impacts in one way, shape, or form. And we decide, do we care? And then we move on. After that, after we do erstwhile on this day, celebrate some birthdays and talk about some people who've passed, then and only then do we run head first into the topics of the day. So if you're with me, let's get started. It is high noon for the 5th day of July, year of our Lord 2022. July 5th is the 186th day of the year. There are 170 more of these until the end of the year. So, like we say around here, say it with me in the chat room. Some of you said it. Some of you actually mouthed, get your New Year's Eve plan started. Maybe you were at your computer, maybe you whatever. Some of you did it. You are the people who are my bloodkin. You are the people who I love. On this day, erstwhile, on this day, or previously on, however you want to say it, erstwhile, on this day in 1865, the United States Secret Service begins operation. Quite the secret, I'm guessing. On this day in 1937, Spam, the luncheon meat, is first introduced into the market by Hormel Foods. Do you guys like Spam? Spam ain't bad. Like, does Spam I don't know, does Spam have a bad reputation or a good reputation? Like, my grandpa used to make me Spam on a hash brown with like a fried egg on top of it. And then you'd put that on a piece of toast and roll it up. And it was really good. So I don't know. Did Spam kind of get a bad rep after World War II? Because wasn't it like World War II where all the soldiers, were given cans of Spam, and when they came home, either they came home, they didn't want Spam anymore, or they still wanted Spam. I don't know, whatever it is. Spam, immortalized by Monty Python. Born on this day in 1937. On this day in 1946. Oh, listen to this. Seriously, you guys, check out this. This is a name, boy. I'm gonna try and pronounce it properly. Micheline. Hold on. This is going to be difficult. Her name is Micheline Bernardini. Micheline Bernardini. I like that. I like that a lot. Isn't that sexy? Micheline. How come Micheline? I don't know any American girls named Micheline. I know a lot of American girls with names that sound foreign and exotic, and who aren't, by the way. They were just given like Angelica. They were just giving like fancy names. How come I've never heard Micheline? Because Michelin, maybe. Yeah, maybe that's not good because it sounds like Michelin. All right, so on this day in 1946, Micheline Bernardini did something that no one had ever done. And what is that? She showed up at a pool in Paris wearing the very first bikini, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. The bikini debuted on this day. Micheline Bernardini. That's how you say it. I got it. It only took me like 5 times. Micheline Bernardini. Here she is. Let's check her out. All right, look at her. How's that looking? She's all right. She's all right. By today, you look at. I call it the pre-aerobics body. Whenever you see like a woman, like in this extends into like, the early 80s, like early 80s, 70s, 60s, you see these bodies of these women and they were considered, oh, beautiful bodies. And then aerobics became a thing. And then all the areas that you used to see, a little bit of flab or whatever, they got all tightened up. And then all of a sudden it's like hard bodies. But, this ain't bad. This ain't bad. This is, what this is? She was probably the most stunning bikini model. Well, she was the only bikini model of her time because she's the first person to put a bikini on. But she was probably considered stunning in her day. They didn't just, to model the very first bikini, they didn't just go out and, find whoever was available. They found somebody with a body. So you got to think that was considered like a great All right. That's a little different. She looks good there. Man, Grandma rocking that bikini. Look at her. What's it say? Doesn't it look like a Budweiser bikini? Like it's branded with Budweiser or something. I don't know how close you guys can see it, but there's some writing or something on some kind of a pattern. All right, there you have it. It was on this day in year of our Lord, 1946, that Micheline Bernardini modeled the very first bikini. Now, I'm a fan of the bikini. I'm of course. I mean, look, I'm a heterosexual guy, so of course I like bikinis. But what must that have been like? Hold on, I think I lost the chat room. All right, guys, are we back? If we're back, check us out. Come on, let's see. Is the chat room? Are we back? All right, yeah, I don't know. Something weird just happened with the stream, so it asked me to just reload it. So I reloaded it. Please let me know in the chat room if we are back. You see me. Thank you, Al. Al says he sees me. And Barney says we're back. Okay, very good, guys. So I was just saying about the whole bikini thing, like that Micheline Bernardini, in her bikini. Think how shocking that was, because that was really revealing. I mean, they were used to, you remember olive oil? I mean, that's basically you remember olive oil at the beach? That's kind of what bathing suits looked like back then. So that was pretty revealing for never have going that far. We, at Party Cove this weekend, I love the bikini, and the bikini is very prevalent out there at Party Cove on Lake Louisville. We saw a lot of girls. Here's a weird thing that's going on at Party Cove. Now, our kids are there, but I got a 14-year-old boy. My 14-year-old boy likes boobs. He likes girls in bikinis, right? It would have been fine if he didn't. Like I told him his whole life, he's 5 years old. I'm like, so what's going on? Well, what are you liking girls yet? And then he'd be like, no. And I'd be like, you liking boys yet? And he'd go, no. And I'd be like, yeah, it's fine if you did. I don't care. I just want you to be happy. I always laid that out there for him. I don't care, man. Whatever. You just be happy. Although I want grandkids, so you better figure out a way to do that. That was always the other thing that I said. But now he's pretty heterosexual, and he's 14, and he likes girls. So we'll get on the jet skis and we'll cruise up and down, Party Cove, just looking. And there are a lot of topless girls, which is why we do it. However, topless with an asterisk. They look topless, but they're all wearing pasties. Like a whole bunch of these girls. And from a great distance, they look topless. But then you get close up and you're like, oh, they've got like giant duct tape over there. Okay, now that's because the police, the game wardens come through. And I guess you can't do that, They're worried about the boobs, not all the cocaine and shit that's being done on the giant party yachts. Nah, they're just worried about the boobs. Well, maybe the boobs would draw the attention. I get it now. You don't want the boobs because the boobs will draw the attention to the cops. The cops will then come and find all the cocaine and the date raping that's going on in the cruiser cabins of some of these giant yachts. Anyway, that's life in Party Cove. On this day in 1954, Elvis Presley records his very first single, That's All Right. He did it at Sun Records in Memphis, Tennessee. That's all right, mama. That's all right. I don't know. Was that a hit? He wrote it for his mom, right? Wasn't that a birthday song? And then Sam Sam Phillips, they're at Sun Studio, Sun Records. He was like, hey, man, this guy, I could make some money off him. And then we were off to the races. It was Elvis time. On this day in 1971, the 26th Amendment to the United States Constitution was enacted, I guess. It lowered the voting age from 21 to 18 years old. Nixon signed it on this day. 26th Amendment to the United States says that the voting age goes from 21 to 18. Now, a lot of people now this is when I use the term conservative and stuff, I'm talking about 1972 conservatism. Okay. I'm not talking about whatever that is today. I'm just talking about what it was. And they didn't like it. They even though Richard Nixon signed it, but it was, because there was fear that younger people don't or didn't vote for the policies of the older generation, which was largely conservative. Okay, so that was the reason. So they lowered it from 21 to 18. That was in 75. And of course, in 76, Carter wins. So, but here's the thing. I get the concerns, but if you're concerned about lowering, if you're concerned about this issue because of how it will affect your party, well, you're not looking at the greater good. You're just being selfish and you're thinking, because how do you tell an 18-year-old that 1975, we had just come out of Vietnam. How do you tell an 18-year-old that was sent, whose life was uprooted, who was sent to war, how do you tell them that they don't have a right to vote for the person that basically sent them? You can't. If the military says 18 is how old you got to be to fight for your country, then you got to be able to vote. I also think military people should drink. And I don't know if that's true or not, but they used to say, if you're in the military, you can drink. And I'm like, wait a second. If you're in the military and you walk into a bar, they'll let you drink or you can drink. Like, is this written down somewhere? I don't know. But anyway, it was on this day that the 26th Amendment was signed into law by Richard Nixon that lowered the voting age from 21 to 18 and basically won Jimmy Carter the election in 76. On this day in 1994, some dude we never heard of, on this day in 1994, some dude founded his company in his garage. He was just like, hey, got this selling books. Amazon was founded on this day. Jeff Bezos founded Amazon on this day in 1994 in his garage, selling books. They used to sell books. They were an online book dealer. Good Lord, that's how it started for them. On this day in 1996, Dolly the sheep becomes the first mammal cloned from an adult cell. I don't remember much about Dolly the sheep. Like, how long did she live? How long did Dolly the sheep live? I remember Dolly the sheep was the first clone. It's a clown. And then, crazy people in churches were like, kill it. It's an abomination. Dolly lived from July 5th. Happy birthday. That's what we're celebrating. Dolly lived from July 5th, 1996 to February 14th, Valentine's Day. Dolly died on Valentine's Day, 2003. So 7 years. This sheep lived 7 years. Now I got to ask Google what the average lifespan of a sheep is. They weren't going to eat her, right? Or did they eat her? What do you think happened with Dolly's remains? What is the average lifespan of a sheep?
10 to 12 years.
All right, Dolly.
The average lifespan of a sheep is 10 to 12 years.
There you go. It's fine. We don't need any more info. Well, she didn't live her normal lifespan. She probably died. She OD'd. She partied. She was famous. It went to her head. On February 14, 2003, Dolly was euthanized because she had a progressive lung disease and severe arthritis. Dolly has a life expectancy of around 11 to 12 years, but Dolly lives 6.5. A post-mortem examination showed she had a form of lung cancer called ovine pulmonary. Okay, I can't read that word. It's fairly common disease in sheep, and it's caused by, who cares? Okay, there you go. That's all we need to know. Okay, she died. She didn't live the normal lifespan. She died of something that they say totally normal for a sheep to die of, but I don't know. Oh, the dog is now in here. She left the door open. Hold on. I got to close. You guys, I got to close the door. I'm sorry. Hold on. Give me a second. Quick break. We'll continue. I promise. Just a quick break. Sorry, I got to get out of here. Tell you what, while I'm gone, put this up again because we're desperate. Think about tipping the show. All right, I'll be right back. All right, guys, hold on. Come on, girl. You got to come out. Get out. Come on, inside. No. I'm sorry, the dog is being difficult. She wants to come in. She doesn't want to come in. And she's figured out how to open the door no matter how well I try and we're doing the show from a walk-in closet. This is a walk-in closet. It's the only room in this, actually, it's honestly, if I'm being honest, it's my favorite studio I've ever worked out of. I absolutely love this little walk-in closet studio. Don't know how much longer we're going to be here, though, because I think we're going to get the guest house here at the Comfort Nest Studios and above the 1%er compound back up and running. So we might move back, which is completely understandable. But I will miss this studio. I really will. We do it from a closet. The dog has figured out a way to push the closet doors open, even though I barricade. I don't need to go into this. All right, where were we? What were we talking about, guys? Totally forgot. Oh, yeah, Jeff Bezos. Oh, Dolly the sheep and Jeff Bezos. Those were the two. That's it. That's all we got. Erstwhile on this day. Okay. Now let's move into the next segment that we like to do, where we call this one Buonam, Buonam, Buonam. Today is your birthday. We go over all the birthdays of individuals, been around, people born on this day. Let's do that. I'm distracted because I hear the dog outside the door and she's trying to get in, and I don't want to have to get up and close the door again, because although she's figured out how to open the door, she doesn't know how to close it. She doesn't even understand the concept of closing it. I do chuckle to myself all the time when I wonder what she thinks I'm actually doing here. Because again, she's a dog. She doesn't know about streaming. She doesn't know there's an internet thing. All she knows is that I am sitting here yelling into the ether, and she just watches me. Like, she knows I'm not talking to her. At first she thought I was. She knows I'm not talking to her. So what does she think I'm doing? This is like her. This is like when I see her barking at the wall. Like, you ever seen a dog? Oh my God, maybe I have no concept of what she's doing. Anyway, let's move on. It's time for birthdays. Bonham, bonham, bonham. Today is some birthdays. Here you go. P.T. Barnum was born on this day. That's right. On this day in 1810, P.T. Barnum, American businessman, co-founder of Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus. What's more American than that? A circus, a con man, fun. That's America. There you go. P.T. Barnum is an interesting dude. There's been a lot written about him. I mean, he really was a con man, but a fun con man. Like, I bet if you were in P.T. Barnum's inner circle, you had so much fun. If you weren't, you probably got, taken for something, because he was good at that stuff. Happy birthday to you, P.T. Barnum. Born on this day in 1810. Born on this day in 1928. Here's one we need to celebrate. Born on this day in 1928. The great Warren Oates, ladies and gentlemen. Warren Oates is celebrating a birthday. Who? I know Warren Beatty. I don't know Warren Oates. Dude, Sergeant Hulka from Stripes. Sergeant Hulka climbed up. He showed him how it was done. He climbed up on top of the tower, and then they blew him up, and he fell. And Bill Murray and Harold Ramis had to rally the Stripes platoon to, do whatever it is that they were performing for the general. Whatever. Hulka was. Remember Hulka? Warren Oates. Happy birthday, Warren Oates. He's also in the Wild Bunch. Did a whole bunch of Sam Peckinpah movies in the 60s. Come on. Warren Oates is legit. And here's the thing about Warren Oates. Warren Oates died like really young. He died at 53 years old, just after the filming of Stripes. He had a heart attack. He was 53. He had a heart attack. He died in his sleep. But man, okay, so I'm his age. I'm the same age as Warren Oates when he died. And when I look at Warren, when I think of Warren Oates in movies, like back when he was in his 30s, he looked like he was in his 60s. But happy birthday, Warren Oates. We miss you. Born on this day in 1928. Born on this day in 1929. How about some Katherine Helmond? How about some Mona from Who's the Boss? It's like, we know what was going on with Mona. Mona, the cougar. She was trying to get with Tony. And then they made it weird. Like the first couple of seasons, she was like this cougar. Remember Who's the Boss? Tony, for some reason. I mean, let's be honest. Why did Angela Maselli hire Tony? Or what was her name? Angela. It was Tony Maselli. Why did Angela hire Tony? Former baseball player. Would she meet him in a bar once, take him home? And there's more to the story of what led up to Who's the Boss. And, from the very beginning, Mona, Angela's mother who lived with them. Here's the other thing. That house wasn't big enough that it needed. They didn't live in a mansion. The Who's the Boss house was like a normal house. Why do you need to move a whole nother family in under the auspice of them cleaning the house for you? What? It was a very weird upstairs, downstairs vibe going on with that kind of show. Anyway, Katherine Helmond, who played oh, the dog is back. What are you doing, a-hole? All right, lay down. Got to close the door real quick. What are you doing? You're going to kill me. Okay. Stay there. The boy is downstairs. Why aren't you playing with the boy? What's that about? Yeah, you hear the fire trucks? There's fire trucks. I think the boy may have set the house on fire. Is that why you don't want to play with the boy? Here, look at her. Let's say hi to CeeLo. Okay, there you go. Say hi, girl. There she is. There's CeeLo. That's all. That's trouble right there. Yeah, I called you trouble. You know I called you. Okay, you're going to stay there now for the rest of the show? You're going to be good? All right, very good. All right, there you go. That's CeeLo. Oh, she has been a workout the last couple of days, man. She's been trouble. There we go. Oh, and now every time I do this, I kind of screw up the camera a little. Let me see if I can fix it. Is that better? Now do I look too close? I feel like I'm too close. All right, let's move back. There you go. And maybe that's better. No, that ain't better. Is that better? Maybe that's better. Better? Nope. Hold on, guys. Well, if you don't care, I don't care. I mean, honestly, it's kind of like a Batman episode now where we're just a little bit crooked. What if I turn it this way? Oh, now that's it. Let's just do the show like this today. Here we go. We're gonna continue doing the show like this. Wait, how would I do that? I need to hold on. I'm falling. No. Have fun with cameras. This is the extent of the special effects you'll get on this show. This is pretty much it. And that's going to have to do. All right, birthday. So what did? We just did Katherine Helmond. She was Mona. And she was kind of like a hot grandma. But, I was too young to appreciate the hot grandma. So maybe I'd like to go back and look at a picture of what Mona was looking like season 1 of Who's the Boss. Anyway, Katherine Helmond, who also played Jessica Tate on Soap. That's where I knew her from. Jessica Tate on Soap was born on this day in 1929. Born on this day in 1943, Robbie Robertson of the band. Whoop on Cripple Creek, Chief hands me if I spring the night they drove old Dixie down. Robbie Robertson, born on this day in 1943. Born on this day in 1950, that's the power of love. Huey Lewis. Huey Lewis having a birthday today. Okay, so not a Huey Lewis story, but somebody who I kind of think of in the same kind of genre, and that's 80s generic radio pop hit maker, right? Undeniably successful, undeniably, made all the money, but the music, they weren't doing what the Clash was doing. They weren't doing what REM was doing. They weren't doing. They just weren't. Anyway, so Huey Lewis is one of those guys, but also Billy Joel is one of those guys. And here's the thing: I love Billy Joel. I love him so much. I've always loved Billy Joel. And, for like 20 years of my life, because of my generation, I wasn't allowed to be like, I love Billy Joel. But I've secretly been going to Billy Joel concerts for 20 years. I just like him. I don't know. If you grew up when I grew up, it's kind of like the soundtrack of your life. He's just everywhere. You may never have intentionally meant to listen to some Billy Joel, but guess what? It found you, and now it's a part of the fiber of who you are. So, I'm in charge of my son's cultural entertainment or cultural education. I'm trying to get him in some certain movies he needs to know about, certain comedians. We learned about Lenny Bruce, not because I'm a fan of Lenny Bruce, but just because he's into comedy. I think he needs to know. So we learned about that this weekend. Also, you know what? He got that from the REM song. It's the end of the world as we know it. Lenny Bruce is not afraid. He said, "Who's Lenny Bruce?" And I went, "Great. All right. We're going to watch a provocative documentary called Lenny." No, we didn't watch Lenny. He's 14. I'm not going to let him watch Lenny. What are you, nuts? But I did. I gave him a little bit of an education on him. So this weekend I introduced him to Billy Joel, and it was kind of like, because he likes the song "It's the End of the World as We Know It" by REM. He likes REM. And he was trying to memorize all the words. Not me. I'm not like one of those weird baseball coaches. He's not like Todd Marinovich, and I'm trying to make him like a trivia champion. Every word of "End of the World as We Know It" by noon, or you don't eat lunch. I'm not doing that. He was doing it for fun. So he was trying to memorize every word of "That's great. It starts with an earthquake, birds and snakes and airplanes. Lenny Bruce is not afraid. I am a hurricane. Listen to yourself. Churn words. So neat. Blah, blah, blah." He was trying to learn all those words to that song. And he was doing a really good job. And I said, "Wait a second, though." I go, "There is one that you can do that's probably a little bit easier that you might be able to do." And so we played "We Didn't Start the Fire" by Billy Joel. That song. Harry Truman, China Johnny Ray, Joe DiMaggio, Studebaker, Richard Nixon, television, something, whatever. I don't know. Marilyn Monroe. We didn't start. He loves that song. And I'm like, it's not a cool song, right? I'm like, but whatever. He likes all music. He loves that song. And then he went from that to discovering Pressure. 1, 2, 3, 4, Pressure. And he's like, so now it's all these Billy Joel songs we're listening to, and he's into it. And then he learned that, like, from The Boys, the TV series The Boys on Amazon. God, The Boys is so good. Huey, who is the star of The Boys, unabashedly loves Billy Joel. He's always wearing Billy Joel t-shirts and all that kind of stuff. Not ironically, he's not trying to be silly about it, but he really loves him. And so now my kid does too. So the reason I bring this up when we're talking about the birthday of Huey Lewis is because I'm thinking, maybe I get him into Huey Lewis now as a goof. I just see that's the power. I want a new drug. Like, maybe I'll just start. We're gonna go to the pool. We're gonna take a swim a little bit later because there's not much to do around here. There's a lot to do around here, but there's not much to do around here that doesn't cost money. So we're lucky, we're blessed to have a pool. So I think maybe we'll do some Huey Lewis while we're out by the pool and see if he, by dinner time, see if he's walking around humming, something like, "If this is it, ooh, I wanna let you know." It's cool. There's nothing wrong with Huey Lewis. Catchy, catchy, catchy. Happy birthday, Huey. Born on this day in 1950. Born on this day in 1963. How about this quiet little De Niro of an actress? Holy balls, man. Quiet. And I say quiet. Now, she's won a lot of awards, but she is not a household name. She should be, based on the quality of work she has done for 25 years. She's like the Meryl Streep of HBO or the Meryl Streep of pay cable. She's never had a big movie that I can think of that was a blockbuster. But of course, I'm talking about the incomparable Edie Falco. Edie Falco. I mean, we first noticed her. She first burst onto the scene as tough as nails prison guard in Oz. Remember Oz on HBO? It's like, oh my God, she was like the heart. She was a chick. She was cool. Like she was smart and she was a good prison guard, but she was tough. Like she wasn't crooked like some of them. She was good. She was tough though. And I'm like, oh, that chick, I like her. Then all of a sudden that show goes away. She pops up, Carmela Soprano. She's Tony Soprano's wife for like 8 seasons or however long that was. I mean, that unbelievable. Then she jumps the HBO ship. She goes to Showtime. She starts rattling out Emmy wins with Nurse Jackie. Now she's like Nurse Jet. I don't know. Whatever Edie Falco does next, she's earned our attention. So whatever she does next, you gotta go, that's probably gonna be good because she's good in everything. Edie Falco, happy birthday to you. Born on this day in 1963. Born on this day in 1964, Ronald D. Moore. You don't need to know who he is. He's the guy who rebooted Battlestar Galactica, the 1970s Lauren Green show. It was really bad in the 70s. But Ronald D. Moore rebooted Battlestar Galactica in the 2000s, and he just made it good. He just made it really good and really deep and really sort of allegoric of the era. It was incredible. And it was for years my number one favorite television show of all time. I said Battlestar Galactica, number one of all time. And I'm not alone. I mean, if you look at it, just look up the reimagined Battlestar Galactica series that ran. Look at the reviews. It's got like 100% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. It's crazy. It's listed on greatest TV show lists of all time from Time Magazine to Rolling Stone. It's a legitly good show. Here's the thing: hasn't aged well. It is no longer in my top 5 of the 5 greatest television shows of all time. And here's why. On numerous occasions, I have tried to go back and re-binge the series Battlestar Galactica. And I haven't made it through. I've stopped. I've been like, okay, I can't do it again. And I think here's why. I think it was so allegoric of its time. It was so much, although it was set in space in the deep future, all of the issues they were dealing with were the same issues we were dealing with here. Iraq. An insurgency in Iraq. Who are the good guys? Who are the bad guys? Is this about perspective? Is this terrorism or are it was so crazy to be watching this and going, oh, that's just like, but it was also real emotional and really dark. Like the story gripped you. It really grabbed you by the throat and made you pay attention. And I think that on rewatching that, because I know all the things that are about to happen, I don't have the thrills and the anticipation of what's coming next. So it's fallen out. But happy birthday to you, Ronald D. Moore. You did a masterclass when you reinvented that show. Ronald D. Moore needs to reinvent BJ and the Bear. Make it dark. Make BJ a serial killer. Yeah! We are on to something. BJ and the Bear. Redone, but BJ is actually killing people. He's killing prostitutes, lot lizards. What do you think BJ's into? I don't know. Well, we know what he's into. It's in the name. But, what is his, what's his victim? Right? You could do that. That's the thing that's happening. Like, didn't they just make a Winnie the Pooh movie where Winnie the Pooh was a serial killer? Well, let's remake BJ and the Bear. Let's get Vince Gilligan involved. Oh, imagine Vince. You know what? I'm sorry. Ronald D. Moore, you got to go. I'm going to offer this script concept to Vince Gilligan of Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. I want him to reinvent BJ and the Bear with BJ as a cross-country truck driver who's also like the most prolific serial killer of all time. There we go. That'll work. Happy birthday, Ronald D. Moore. I'm sorry I took the reinvented BJ and the Bear script away from you. It's just after further consideration, Vince Gilligan would obviously be the better person to do this. Born on this day in 1969, RZA from The Woo. Happy birthday, RZA. 1969. Born on this day in 1980, Pauly D. Remember this D-bag? Remember Pauly D? Pauly D stands for D-bag. Pauly D from Jersey Shore. He was the DJ with all the hair gel and, apparently didn't own any shirts, but he had a lot of puka shell necklaces. He was that guy. Happy birthday to you, Pauly D. How old is he? 43? Wow. Pauly D's 43. And born on this day in 1994, the greatest baseball player that has ever lived. Shohei Ohtani. Woo! Oh, man, that's true. It's undeniable. I was very skeptical of Shohei. You know, I'm an old baseball head. I love baseball. I was very skeptical of Shohei. I was like, well, certainly at some point, one of his either hitting or pitching is going to fall off. He's not going to be able to maintain both at an elite level against major league talent. Oh, yeah, he has. Yeah, he has. He's one of the best aces in baseball. And he's also the best hitter in baseball. Well, not the best hitter, but certainly the best long ball hitter. He does strike out, but I think he's still leading the American League. It was him and Luis Robert were 1-2 in the American League as of a couple of days ago. I don't know what happened over the weekend, but, you know, Shohei Ohtani is just, we lost the United States. We invented baseball. It's our game. We created it. We all know this. It's our pastime. We gave it to the world. We conquered the world. World War II. We taught everybody we beat up. All the nations that we conquered. We taught them how to play baseball. In Japan, drop a nuke on them here. Here's some gloves. Here's a bat. Sorry about wiping out your whole family, but this is how you play baseball. They took our sport and they're dominating us in it. The Japanese dominated us in the world. Well, maybe not dominated. They dominated the World Baseball Classic, and then they beat us. They beat the United States. They are the best baseball team in the world. Team Japan is better than a collection of Major League All-Stars here, American-born Major League All-Stars. And I wonder, why didn't this happen with soccer? You know, the world gave soccer to us like 100 years ago, and we're still not any good at it. Meanwhile, the Japanese have had baseball for 70 years, and they're the best in the world. Not only are they collectively the best as a team, but the best player in the world is Shohei Ohtani. That's not even debatable. He's going to be in free agency, and he's coming up for that. This could be one of the biggest, well, not going to be, it could be. It is going to be the largest free agency deal in Major League Baseball history. It is going to blow your mind. I just hope he doesn't end up in New York. I don't want Shohei Ohtani in New York. Maybe Los Angeles. Maybe that'll work. Seriously, he's a dominant pitcher and he's a dominant hitter. He plays every day. Just unbelievable kid. Happy birthday, Shohei Ohtani. You made a believer in me. You are real. All right. At this point, we move into these are the people who've died. These are the people who've died. This is where we go through a list of people who have passed away on this very day, and we decide, do we care? You know what I mean? Because people die every day, and we can't really mourn everybody. So let's start out dead on this day in 1983. Harry James. Who? I know. We care. Harry James was a band leader. He was like a rock star. Well, what they would call a rock star back then. He was a band leader, but he was kind of like, I'm going to try and use this. I'm going to utilize modern terms. So he was kind of like a really cool, critically acclaimed. All the coolest people liked Harry James. And he was playing like if he came to Dallas in 2023, he would play like a Nokia Center, right? Can't play AT&T Stadium. No, probably can't even play the arena, but he would be like one of these really cool, like alt bands or something that has a real nice following. He was very well respected. And he discovered a guy that he made the lead singer of his big band. And he discovered a guy named Frank Sinatra. Frank Sinatra. Harry James took this skinny kid and said, you've got something, kid. Why don't you sing for my big band? And then Sinatra was really big with Harry. Harry James was already big. So it was a great opportunity for young Sinatra to sort of get in with this really cool band. I know I'm using modern terms, but to get in with this really cool group, this big band, Harry James. And he got a lot of attention because the Harry James band was cool. And suddenly an even bigger band, like now we're talking about a band that played, and I remember exactly who it was. Got to remember who it was. I don't know. Anyway, there were all these. Frank Sinatra was like basically a hot commodity, and Harry James was involved in this big fight over his contract. And yeah, you can read about it. It's very interesting. So do we care that Harry James died on this day? Yeah, we care. Harry James found Sinatra. We like that. Dead on this day in 1998, Sid Luckman, American football player. Do we care? Yeah, we care. Sid Luckman was born in 1916. Sid Luckman died in 1998. Sid Luckman stopped playing professional football like in 1950. Sid Luckman is still the most prolific quarterback in Chicago Bear history. And any list of America's greatest Jewish athletes will contain NFL Hall of Famer Sid Luckman. That's right. Sid Luckman. Do we care? Yeah, I do. Dead on this day in 1998. Dead on this day in 2002. Ted Williams. Do we care? Yeah, we care. Oh, Ted Williams was a son of a bitch. He was a son of a bitch. He did not suffer fools. He was a very serious dude. And my grandpa would tell you the greatest hitter who's ever lived. And I'm like, okay, grandpa. But grandpa died in, 1998. So Ted Williams maybe in his lifetime was. I don't know that Ted Williams is the greatest hitter that he's ever seen, or the greatest hitter of all time. I don't know. I will say this: the greatest pure hitter, the guy you needed to hit. He could go long. I mean, he was known as a guy that hit 400-foot home runs, but he could also get the base hit whenever you need. The greatest hitter I ever saw was Frank Thomas, the bigger, first ballot Hall of Famer, well deserved. Unbelievable. Every time you needed a hit, it didn't matter if it was the fifth inning and, you needed to move runners around. Frank got on base or he at least got a hit. He was terrific. Ted Williams, a lot of people say Ted Williams was the exact same guy. Ted Williams would take you deep, but Ted Williams, man, hit to all fields and he would get a base hit. Ted Williams would get on base. He would move the runners. Happy birthday or happy death day. Do we care? Yeah, we care. Ted Williams, he's a son of a bitch, but he was a hell of a ball player. Dead on this day in 2005, James Stockdale. Wasn't he the guy? I don't even know. I'm thinking, wasn't he the guy that was Ross Perot's vice president? The guy who came on the debates and seemed lost and was like, what? I don't know where I am. We don't care. Maybe he's a nice man, but I can't mourn him. Dead on this day in 2006, Kenneth Lay, American businessman. Kenneth Lay was the CEO of Enron. Kenneth Lay and Jeffrey Skilling. They perpetrated quite the con. Kenneth Lay died on this day in 2006. Never really had to be held accountable. Kenneth Lay, do we care? No, just a rich guy, piece of garbage. You can rot in hell. Dead on this day in 2010. Bob Probert, longtime Detroit Red Wing, short-time Chicago Blackhawk. I met him when he played with. I partied with him when he played with the Blackhawks. He was being shown around town. We had just acquired him, and we were doing the radio station that I worked at. We were doing our big summer concert, and I'm sorry, I thought I heard something. We were doing our big summer concert at like this giant outdoor arena in Chicago, and I was backstage just sitting on a speaker watching from the wings, and Chris Chelios walks up, and Chris Chelios was a regular on our show. So Chris Chelios saw me, and he goes, "Hey, Pugs, this is Bob," and I'm like, "Oh, hey, Bob." And Chris goes, "Yeah, we just acquired him." And I go, "Oh, that's totally cool." And then I remembered hearing earlier on the day that the Blackhawks had acquired Bob Probert. And I go, "Proby?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I go, "Oh shit, man." He was really nice. He was a troubled guy. Probert had a lot of problems, big fighter, big drinker, big issues with party. I mean, I saw him party. Yeah, those guys party, but all hockey players party, man. I don't think all hockey players party to the extent that Bob Probert did, but do we care? Bob Probert died on this day in 2010. Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. I do. I thought he was cool. I thought he was a nice guy. He was a little overwhelmed because, he'd just been traded. Like he'd been traded, and now he's in town, and the only guy he knows on the new team is his former teammate, Chris Chelios. So Chelios is like, "Hey, the radio station I work at, we're going to do this thing tonight. Why don't you come in and hang out with us?" So there was Bob Probert. Very sad when he died. I want to say he died while on a lake. Like did he have a heart attack while on I don't know, you can look it up. There was something about him being on a boat, like just fishing. And I don't know, whatever. Bob Probert, we care. Dead on this day in 2010. Dead on this day in 2021. Okay. We're going to take a moment here. Dead on this day in 2021, Richard Donner. Do we care? Yeah, we care. Yes, we care. Why do we care? Pugs, why do we care about it? Who's Richard Donner anyway? Is he part of the Donner? Did he eat his own children? No, that is not who Richard Donner is. Richard Donner is, in my opinion, one of the most underappreciated film directors in Hollywood history. The films that this man directed are timeless. And yet, whenever we talk about the great directors, Scorsese, Coppola, Tarantino, Kubrick, whoever it is that we talk about, nobody ever mentions Richard Donner. And if you're a kid from my era, Richard Donner is pretty damn important. Richard Donner made some pretty big bangers. So, Richard Donner draft. That's right. We do a little draft in the style of the National Football League's yearly draft. We do it in 5 rounds. The first selection of the works of Richard Donner will be the number 1 overall pick. And then it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So these are the 5-round draft for Richard Donner, incredibly underappreciated Hollywood director. With the first pick in the Richard Donner draft, we here at Radio Misfits, along with the High Noon Show, select The Omen. The Omen. Richard Donner, director of The Omen. Woo, man. Still one of my... I won't say it's the scariest. I'm not going to say it's the scariest of those movies. The 70s were the golden age of this scary, spooky movie. Now, maybe I say that because I was like 6, 7, 8 years old in the 70s when I saw these movies and they had an impact on me. So who knows? You're right. I could be biased, but I believe that the 70s are the golden age of horror films. The Shining, I still consider to be the scariest horror film ever made, the freakiest one anyway. But The Omen is my favorite. I love The Omen. So with the first pick, we're going Omen, Damien, son of the devil, born into a wealthy family, the Thorns, Damien, The Omen, number 1 in the Richard Donner draft. Number 2, second pick in the Richard Donner draft, we select Superman. That's right, the original Superman, Christopher Reeve, Gene Hackman, Ned Beatty, Margot Kidder. Who else was in it? I don't know, Jimmy Olsen guy. Yeah, I don't know. There were a bunch of people in it. That was so good, man. You want to talk about what, 1978? 1978 maybe is when Superman came out. Whoa, what would I have been? 8 years old when that came out? Oh, I loved Superman already, and now we got a movie. I love the Justice League. The Justice League was a Saturday morning cartoon in the 70s and 80s, and the Justice League was my go-to. All that other I'd start out the morning with Hong Kong Phooey. Hong Kong Phooey was on early. I'd look forward to that, have my bowl of cereal with Hong Kong Phooey. And then it was just like, all right, I got an hour and a half of some Scooby-Doo bullshit and some, Bullwinkle nonsense before I can get to Justice League. I was a Justice League guy. So Richard Donner, man, when he made Christopher Reeve Superman, woo, that's the number 2 pick. Number 3 pick in the Richard Donner draft. How about this one? Lethal Weapon. Yeah, he did Lethal Weapon too. He also did Lethal Weapon. As well as I think he did Lethal Weapon too. Yeah, I believe that he did. Anyway, Lethal Weapon, man, the original. The original, not I don't know how that... It seemed to spur a whole bunch of copycat style films. And so now when you look at Lethal Weapon, it looks played out. You're like, oh, I've seen this a lot. Oh, a buddy, and one guy's just about to retire, and the other guy's like a loose cannon putting his peaceful retirement in jeopardy, right? There's that whole dynamic. I need you to turn in your badge. You're out of control. That whole thing. So that's become kind of certainly a trope, but it's also a cliche. It's just something to be... Don't apply that nonsense to Lethal Weapon. Lethal Weapon was first through the door. Lethal Weapon was the first to really nail all of those things that have been copied and imitated over the years. Lethal Weapon is great. Lethal Weapon, number 3 off the Richard Donner director draft. Number 4, I know my friend Ed considers this the greatest Christmas movie ever made. I certainly put it up there. I don't know, I'd say the greatest. Richard Donner directed Bill Murray in Scrooged. Number 4 off the board. Number 1 pick in the Richard Donner draft is The Omen. The number 2 pick in the Richard Donner draft is Superman. The number 3 pick in the Richard Donner draft is Lethal Weapon. The number 4 pick in the Richard Donner draft is Scrooged. Finally, we're up to the 5th and final pick. These are this is a 5-round draft. The 5th and final pick in the 5-round Richard Donner directorial draft, we will be selecting The Goonies. The Goonies come in at number 5. That's right. He did The Goonies too. He did The Omen. He did Superman. He did Lethal Weapon. He did Scrooged. He did The Goonies. But we're not done because we better damn well believe we're inviting some people to camp. We've got some undrafted free agents that we need to sign. How about camp invites? That's right. Camp invites going out to The Toy. He did The Toy. Richard Pryor, Jackie Gleason. He did Lethal Weapon 2. Yeah, that's how I knew he did it. Conspiracy Theory. Do you remember Conspiracy Theory? Was that Julia Roberts and Mel Gibson? I know it was Mel Gibson, but was Julia Roberts the other one? And Conspiracy Theory was great. We all went and saw Conspiracy Theory in like 1993, and we went, man, those people are crazy. And now today, those people are everywhere. They are everywhere. Conspiracy Theory. Great Mel Gibson, Richard Donner directed film. How about Lethal Weapon 4? Yeah, we'll keep going with the Lethal Weapons because they're all pretty good. Yeah, I think that's it. That's all we're going to do as far as invites, camp invites. So to put it in closing, these are the people who've died. Do we care about Richard Donner? Yes, we do. All right, let's move in now. We're going to get into some of the things that are happening around the world, some of the trends, some of the topics, all the things that people are talking about, headlines. Any breaking news? We've been doing the stream now for an hour, so I should probably look and see if there's anything that has been happening. By the way, as always, I love my chat people. Any big breaking news, you got to let me know. And if I don't mention it, you keep saying it. Who's in the chat? Who do we have in the chat? Come on, everybody. Let me see. Put your hands. Oh, I see Ross. Hi, Ross. I see Barney. I see Leslie. I see more chat. Let me see. Keep going down here. Al checking in. Frankie's here. Is everybody getting along good? Barney, as always. I see Adam. I don't know if Adam's still here. He hasn't mentioned anything in a while. Byron is here. Oh, man, my boy Aaron. Look at this. This one, my buddy Aaron says he was checking in from Portillo's. We went to Portillo's. My boy and I went to Portillo's on Saturday night. Still an hour wait. Oh my God. Yeah, let me show you some pics. I've got some good Portillo's pics for you. Yeah, here we go. This was Saturday at Portillo's. My son is going to freak out because here he is. Look at him. He's balling out on it. He got himself a beef. Oh. All right, are we back again? Let me know in the chat room if we're back. Please help us out. We're having some issues today. I don't know what this is about. We haven't had issues since we moved over to this studio. There you go. Whoop. We're there. Are we back? Oh, I never left? Oh, good. Okay, because I got the alert on there's my kid. My kid's out there. He's crushing beef sandwiches. We had to wait in line for like an hour and a half. At 9:30, they closed at 11. 9:30 on the Saturday night of 4th of July, there was still a line at Portillo's out the door. Can I draw your attention to this picture? He's not looking down because he's tired of eating. He's looking down because that's his phone and he's watching TV on his phone and he can't seem, even for Portillo's, he can't stop. Kids today. Anyway, my boy Aaron is there at Portillo's and yes, I am quite jealous. All right, who else we got in the chat room today? Let me see. Well, we see everybody. All right, let's get into all of the topics of the day. Once again, I'd like to remind you to help out the show if you can. We are in desperate need for your tips here at the end of the month. Help us out. You can see the links right there. Drop a little something and help support help support non-confrontational. We're confrontational, but we're non-political. This is talk radio the way it should be. Just people being normal and not hating on folks just because of how they voted and all that stuff. I'm desperately trying to make that a thing again. And you people in the chat room who show up every day, you've gone a long way to keep me in this fight. So thank you so much for it. Now let's get into all the topics that are trending, the headlines, current events, whatever it is that people are buzzing about on this, the 5th day of July. Fort Worth is trending. There was so we got to start out with the big stories that we don't like to talk about, but whatever. Fort Worth, oh boy, here we go. Fort Worth had a mass shooting. First of all, there's a bunch of mass shootings. So we're going to have to do a mass shooting roundup. We won't spend too much time on it, but this one occurred in Fort Worth. So let's talk about this because we do the show here from North Texas. This one is, kind of close to the home. So shooting in Fort Worth leaves at least 3 dead and 8 others wounded. Apparently this happened in the Como district of Fort Worth. I'm not familiar with that. It's in West Fort Worth. I realized looking at this area on a map, because I love Fort Worth. I'm like Mr. Fort Worth. I'm like, I would love to move to Fort Worth. It's so cool there. I love Fort Worth. I don't know Como. I don't know West Fort Worth. I'm looking at this map. I'm like, I don't have any idea what this stuff's about. So I'm looking at this neighborhood. I don't find any of it familiar. Gunfire erupted. Although it seems, it looks like I love the Colony neighborhood. Oh yeah, I love the country club part of Fort Worth where the Byron Nelson. No, what do they play there? The Colonial Colony. What do they play out there? I don't even know. I don't even have the words right. This Como area is kind of close. I think it's just north and west of there, and that's the area that I'm familiar with. But gunfire erupted just before midnight Monday in Fort Worth, Texas, leaving at least 3 dead and 8 others wounded, police said. 10 of the victims are adults and 1 a minor. Let's see here. Hours after the tragedy, the neighborhood held its 4th of July parade on the very same streets where the shooting occurred, with parade goers waving at children on colorful floats and riders on horseback. Here's what happened. Monday night, officers discovered multiple people shot in a parking lot in the Horn Street area of the Como neighborhood in Fort Worth. Several victims were brought to local hospitals by private vehicles, while others were transported by ambulance. We had a shooting. It appears that we had multiple victims that were shot, probably 3 of them were transported to Harris Southwest. This according to the police. 5 more victims were transported to John Peter Smith. So those are the hospitals. It's too early to tell if the shooting was gang-related, a domestic dispute, or something else. Detectives have yet to identify any suspects for Fort Worth police, said in a news. So this is one of those interesting things. I talk about the compartmentalization of these kinds of shootings. Somebody walks into the Allen outlet malls and just starts spraying people because he's a lunatic who believes certain crazy things, right? That's what that guy was. Death Squad, he was wearing patches for and all that stuff. So you got that kind of thing. Then you've got the kind of like shooting that we've all become far too accustomed to, and we're so used to it that we just completely take it out of hand for granted, and we don't think much about it. And those is just the everyday inner city, ghetto crime, gang-related crime among the criminal elements, and that's what this seems like. If police are even saying, "Well, we don't know if it's gang-related," they're floating that balloon. They're letting us. They're floating the balloon. They're going, yeah, this just looks like a couple of gangbangers drove by and opened up on a parking lot. So don't think that this is the same kind of threat that the other ones are. The people going to the Targets or people walking into movie theaters. Because fortunately, well, I don't know what the word is here. It's not the same kind of threat. Why? Because you'll probably never be hanging out in a parking lot in the Como area of Fort Worth before midnight. But you might be walking into a Target with your kid to buy some, sunblock or something. Understand there are differences here. Now, it's not right. All human life is important, but we have become accustomed to the just crime among the poorer classes. So we sort of don't concern ourselves to the same extent. And that's evidenced right here. This was a mass shooting. 3 people died, 10 people were wounded. They opened fire in a parking lot. Okay. This happened in an area where there's heavy gang activity, and the cops are like, it might be gangs. Where's the guy who did it? Yeah, we don't know. He got away. All right, so if this was at a Starbucks, right? If this was the same thing that happened at a Starbucks, there would be a manhunt. There would be shelter-in-place orders. The entire community would be rung by police searching door to door for this active shooter. But not in this kind of situation. And that's why I compartmentalize, because the police compartmentalize. They understand it's two completely different threats. This was gang related. The people who were shot were probably involved with a gang or were in the wrong place. At the very least, hanging out with gangbangers before midnight in an empty parking lot in the Como neighborhood of Fort Worth. So there you have that. All right, we've got another one here. We got another, not in Fort Worth, though. We've got another, well, here, we'll just do the full roundup here, okay? These are, oh, this is a crazy one in Philadelphia. Like a trans, okay, so these are, you want to talk about provocative. There are some provocative details about a shooter in Philadelphia who, now this one seems, this Philadelphia shooter, here are the details, trans woman. You know what I'm saying? Respectfully, trans woman. I'm a 53-year-old man. I'm totally cool with whatever you want to do with your life. Don't bust my balls because I'm trying. All right. I don't know. Trans woman, right? Trans woman. Honestly, I shouldn't have to work this hard to not hurt your feelings. You need to be a little bit tougher. You know that I'm not a threat. I'm not a dick. I'm not one of these kill all the trans. And those people are terrible. And I'm on your side with that. But don't bust my nuts. Because I've sometimes called, by the wrong thing. Anyway, this dude, see, I did it right there. Not a dude. It's a woman. So this woman also participated in a number of Black Lives Matter things. So here's why that's interesting. Because those are just really bad. Like if you're on the left, and I'm neither on the left or on the right, but if you're on the left, you're like, God damn it. God. It's kind of like when a mass shooter, turns out to have posts about, President Trump got robbed. And the right goes, seriously? This had to happen. And so this is one of them deals. Philadelphia. This is a spooky one, though. This Philadelphia dude. Let me find the details on this guy for you. I'll give you the... no, maybe this is just going to be the roundup. Okay, so the Philadelphia guy just had a bunch. He was sort of it's a hybrid. Because it seems like it's that first box where it's just gang related. People were in the wrong place at the wrong time. Dudes came by and just started shooting because this dude was in one of those neighborhoods and he just started shooting people in one of these neighborhoods. By one of these neighborhoods, I mean an inner city, low income neighborhood. Hold on, I'm trying to get to the story. I can't find the details. Anyway, he just went door to door and started shooting people. I don't have a death count on him. Maybe I will. Hold on. Forgive me. This story is lost in a roundup of all the shootings that took place. Lansing, Michigan, Akron, Ohio, Washington, D.C. All right, so I'm gonna find that story specifically because the Philadelphia one is weird, man. It's the liberals' worst case scenario for one of these guys because it's not just crime. It's not just crime where you can just kind of forget about it and not even look for the guy. It seems to be a lot more. He lost his shit and decided that he was going to kill people. Where's this story? Hold on. Give me a second here. Oh, here it is. Okay. All right. So here's one headline. And this is why I say the liberals are just gunman arrested for Philadelphia shooting that left 5 dead is a BLM activist who wore women's clothes. Oh, no. No, not good for the libs. The rifle, I mean, come on, but we can spread this out because a lot of times when dudes walk into malls and lose their shit, we rather quickly find out how they voted and what their political affiliations are. So let's just stop acting like only one side of the political spectrum are nuts and has a desire to kill people. The rifle-wielding suspect who donned a bulletproof vest. This is the cross-dressing BLM one that killed 5 people in Philadelphia. The rifle-wielding suspect who donned a bulletproof vest before allegedly shooting dead 5 men and injuring 2 children in Philadelphia has been identified as a Black Lives Matter supporter who shared gun-toting memes on social media. All right, here's the name. They. Did I do it right? Did I do it right? Here's the name they are going by. Kim Brady Carricker. Kim Brady? Kim Brady. That's one word. It's not Kimberly. It's Kim Brady. Kim Brady Carricker, 40, was nabbed shortly after the bloodshed in the city's King-Sessing neighborhood Monday night. Cops haven't yet publicly disclosed the suspect's identity, but on his Facebook page, Carricker posted 2 pictures of himself wearing a bra, a woman's top, and earrings with hair braids and long hair back in March. He also regularly posts about supporting Black Lives Matter, including support for workers who protested in strike for the Black Lives Matter. I don't know, whatever. Can we get a picture of this guy? I'll give you a picture. You can just go look him up. Go look up Kim Brady. Just Kim Brady. Like, is there another Kim Brady? Just put Kim Brady. Yeah. Not a good looking they. They are not attractive. I'll share. They are not attractive, and they are monsters. Police said the 40-year-old male suspect. All right, cops gotta go by what's between the legs, I guess. Police said the 40-year-old male I remember when we all used to do that, but police said the 40-year-old male suspect was armed with a rifle, pistol, extra magazines, a police scanner, and a bulletproof vest. So you see, this is one of them scary ones. This isn't the Fort Worth one. Again, I don't consider that's not a scary one because I'm not going to be hanging out in a parking lot in that area of Fort Worth before midnight with a bunch of other teenagers. I'm not. Police said the 40-year-old male suspect, this is Philadelphia, the male suspect was armed with a rifle, all that stuff. A 2-year-old boy was shot 4 times in the legs, while a 13-year-old boy also suffered gunshot wounds to his legs. The gunman had fired at police as they chased him for several blocks before he eventually surrendered in an alley. All right, now that's another one there. That's this story is just nothing but victories for the right. It really is. Because here you have an example of a Black man committing a mass shooting, running from police, and being taken alive. Because every time there's a mass shooter and the shooter turns out to be a white dude, you get the people that go, well, if he was a Black guy, they'd have killed him. Well, here's an example. There's a Black guy, a Black they, if you will, and they didn't kill him. So let's just stop with all these things, right? You're both silly. All sides are silly on this. Trying to see if there's any more details. Carricker also described himself. Okay. As a computer, I'm just reading the article. Carricker also described himself as a computer engineer and showed an interest in guns, posting pictures and memes of people wearing firearms. One image featured a person holding a pistol with the caption, "Wherefore art thou, opposition, so I may slide upon thine block and runneth down a tree." I don't know what that means. Anyway, weirdo, Philadelphia. Weirdo in Philadelphia. That was a spooky one, though, because he was going house to bulletproof vest. All right, so first of all, he's trans. So did he do this as a woman? Was he like in high heels with the bulletproof vest? Because dudes aren't really good at high heels. So was he like on the sidewalks? And I can't imagine that the sidewalks were smooth because it's a bad neighborhood. So he's probably like trying to navigate like giant divots while I don't know what he's doing. This is a crazy story. I need to know more on this. House to house, just kicking in doors and shooting people. 5 people are dead. Get out of here. All right. San Francisco is also trending. San Francisco, that hellhole. I'm just saying that because that's kind of what everybody says about every big city, right? Philadelphia, that hellhole. I love San Francisco. Although the last time I was in San Francisco, it was during my time when I was running. When every day I was like, I'm going to go run for 3 miles every day, right? And it was working. I was feeling pretty good about it. I was losing weight, The heck was that? That was a crazy noise. You keep hearing that noise? There we go. And I get out of my hotel. I wake up early and I'm like, I'm going for a run in San Francisco. That was the worst decision of my life. It's exhausting. It's just hills. It's all hills. It's just all, you can't go jogging in downtown San Francisco. It's insane. I'm like, this sucks. Anyway, there's a situation happening in San Francisco because it's a hellscape. It's an urban hellscape. I still like it though. It's freaking gorgeous, man. I'm hoping it degenerates even more into a hellscape so that pricing comes down, and then maybe like normal people can go move into San Francisco. You know that Full House? You know that Full House? Remember, it's like, oh, and this a cute, cozy, all-American Sam. That house is like $5 million in real life. Yeah. In what neighborhood is that? That's like some fancy neighborhood in San Francisco. So this is also happening in San Francisco. Baseball bat wielding gangs of children are mugging mothers and nannies on school runs in San Francisco. Moms and nannies who are pushing their children in strollers and escorting their other kids to school are being besieged by like basic street pirates. A bunch of kids, they're saying the ages from 9 years old to 14 to 15, not drivable age. So like 9 to 14, 15. That's the age of these groups that are just descending upon these moms with strollers with baseball bats and demanding cell phones, wallets, all of that. This is crazy. San Francisco, and this sounds like it's in nannies? Okay, so this is in a neighborhood where people who live there have nannies? Okay. Whoa, San Francisco, get your shit together, man. You can't have this kind of stuff happening in neighborhoods where people have nannies. I mean, this kind of stuff is supposed to happen to us poor working slobs, us poor middle class. You got it. This is that's crazy. San Francisco really is having some weird shit going on there. How about this? Here's a big story that's happening. Twitter. You like Twitter? I used to love Twitter. I don't like Twitter anymore. I'm trying to leave Twitter. I tried to join one of those Twitter. It's like a Twitter. Blue Sky, you know what Blue Sky is? I don't know what this is. I tried to join that, but they put me on a waiting list. They're like, you can't join yet. You have to be approved. I don't know what that's about. But now, apparently, there is a new rival to Twitter coming, and it's from Zuckerberg. And you know what? Here's why I'm so upset about the changes with Twitter. And I hate Twitter now. It's just such a, Twitter's going to suck in 5 years because half the people I used to love on Twitter are gone. And I'm not even sure where they went to. But it's like, now it's just a bunch of like, ugh, gotta deal with these people. So I've been dabbling back in Facebook, right? I've been thinking I'll go back to I got out of Facebook because of politics. There's just way too much politics going on Facebook. And I didn't like it. I was like, I don't want to just, everything that I would post on Facebook would turn into some political thing because Facebook is where all of these weirdos first started to sprout out before they infected you normal people. And now some of you normal people are weirdos too. So I got out of Facebook about 5 years ago and I jumped on Twitter and I was like, I'm loving Twitter. I can control everything. And then within the last year, Twitter has just like completely, I got ads everywhere. I'm limited. I'm not paying $8 for something that used to be free. Social networks do not pay. Our engagement is your currency. Our engagement with this thing that you've put up is how you sell ads. By the way, one of the funniest things about Twitter's big announcement over the weekend that they were now going to limit engagements or limit views, they're calling them, of people. If you got a blue check, if you're paying $8 a month, they're still limiting you, which is nuts. Although it seems to be like 6,000. I don't even know what that means. I don't know how many views I do every day in a normal day on Twitter. I'm just now concerned that I'm going to be scrolling Twitter and they're going to be like, nope, you've exhausted your view limit. So you know what? Screw that. I don't need to put up with that. Facebook doesn't do that. Instagram doesn't do that. None of the other ones do that. You're an asshole. You made the worst business deal in history. And now you're just trying in any way possible to either burn this whole place to the ground so you can go, I did it on purpose, or whatever your weird thing is, or you're just desperately trying to squeeze every ounce of money out of this thing. You overpaid, man. It was a bad business deal. We all know this. But Twitter is free. It's supposed to be free. The business model is you make money selling ads based on our engagements. And now, here's the stupid thing they did. They're limited the engagements of people. So here's what's happening now. This happened over the weekend. It was announced over the weekend. And it's a long holiday weekend. But apparently, as of this morning, the advertisers on Twitter who were sold on Twitter based on all the Twitter users, all the advertisers are going, yeah, we're out, or you're going to cut our rate in half because now You're telling me that somebody might not see my ad because you're limiting their engagements? Because Twitter ads come as views. They come as regular tweets. It's not a special thing. So advertisers are now saying, we bought everybody on Twitter. And you are telling those people that there's a possibility, or you're telling us there's a possibility that our ads won't be seen by people if they've exhausted their view limit. You told us we would reach everybody. You told us we had the opportunity to reach. So that's a problem that's happening. They didn't really think all this through. Again, I'm reading more about what this is all about and having to do with a Google bill. That seems to be the most. There's $1 billion in a Google cloud bill coming to Twitter, and they don't want to pay it. And they're desperately trying to create their own thing. So they might get cut off from Twitter. So that's why I don't know, whatever, look into it. Anyway, a lot of people are upset with Twitter. A lot of people are moving on. I'm moving on. I'm moving on as soon as I can find a thing. And as I said, Blue Sky seems like a lot of people I like are going to Blue Sky. But again, I'm on a waiting list. Apparently, they're not just going to let me in. Comes news that Mark Zuckerberg is now taking advantage of the whole Twitter thing. And he's going to launch his own rival to Twitter. Now, some might say, isn't that what Facebook is? But no, it's not. It's not at all. Facebook and Twitter are two completely different ways of using social media. And, the way Twitter works, the things that you can achieve while using Twitter are different than the things you can achieve while using Facebook. It's a different kind of platform. The Twitter platform is real simple and real easy. Facebook's like needlessly complicated. There's like all kinds of bells and whistles, and you can do. Twitter's not, man. Twitter's just really easy, and it works very well on an app. It's simple. So Mark Zuckerberg is taking advantage of this situation with Twitter, and Mark Zuckerberg is launching something called Threads. Threads by Instagram. Now, it's not Instagram. I don't know if you need to have an Instagram account or whatever, but it's going to be its own standalone app called Threads, and it's supposedly looks just like Twitter. It's like the same sort of user face, except for all the crazy shit that's happening at Twitter right now. So I'm excited about this. Elon Musk spent the weekend further alienating Twitter users with more drastic changes to the social media giant. And he's facing a new challenge as tech nemesis Mark Zuckerberg prepares to launch a rival app this week. Zuckerberg's Meta Group, which owns Facebook, has listed a new app in stores as Threads, available for pre-order in the United States, with a message saying that it is expected to launch this Thursday. The two men have clashed for years, but a recent comment by a Meta executive suggesting that Twitter was not run sanely irked Musk, eventually leading to the two men offering each other to have a cage fight. Since buying Twitter last year for $44 billion, Musk has fired thousands of employees and charged users $8 a month to have a blue check mark and a verified account. See, that's what's so ridiculous. That's why the blue check mark thing, I'll never pay for that, because it's an obvious money grab by a billionaire who overpaid for this stupid platform. It's an obvious money grab, because the idea of verification is that Twitter was going to be an instrument to promote news and expertise, expert commentary. And because a whole bunch of people are, can't be trusted, the verified system was created so that you knew that if a scientist this person was really a scientist. That's what the blue check meant. Celebrities, if a celebrity makes some real provocative statement, it's actually the celebrity because there's the blue check. It used to mean something. It meant that you had a certain position in society. It meant that you were an expert in something, or that what you were saying was honestly being said by the person you claim to be. That's what the verified thing was all about. And then they went, hey, $8, idiots, who wants to act like they're famous? And all the lemmings ran. Yeah, I'll give it $8. Are you insane? It doesn't mean anything anymore. Just blue checks don't mean anything. It just means that you're an idiot. It just means that you're paying $8 now for something. Is it an ego stroke for you? Is that what it is? I don't know. Now, I will say this. I completely understand why non-individuals do it. Like, I understand. I'll give you an example. Radio Misfits. We have Radio Misfits. Our Twitter account is verified. As for reach, it's just you got to play the game. It is for Radio Misfits. Twitter is just a platform that they can promote their message and our content and all that kind of stuff. So you don't want to be limited in any way, shape, or form. So those kinds of things. They pay the $8 for the me. I have seen my reach decrease. I used to get like, I don't want to go into it. I can just tell you that nobody's seeing my tweets anymore. I used to get a lot more play than I am now. And I know it's because I'm not paying $8 a month. And that pisses me off too. So I'm out. Commentators have poured scorn on the idea, and marketing experts say that Musk has massively alienated both his user base and the advertisers that he needs to get profits rolling. In another move that shocked users, Twitter announced on Monday that access to TweetDeck, an app that allows users to monitor several accounts at once, would be limited to verified accounts only next month. So anyway, Threads is this new thing coming from Zuckerberg. He's going to sneak it in the back door right now while everybody's leaving Twitter and looking for a new place to go. And I am absolutely one of those people. So catch me on Threads as soon as I figure out what that is and how to get on it. Also trending today, UPS strike. UPS, United Parcel Service, is talking about going on strike. UPS. Let's see, what can we learn about this strike? What do they want? They want more money? Sorry, I'm having difficulty with my computer. United Parcel Service, Big Brown. What can Brown do for you, right? That whole thing. I don't know. Well, no, most people use, do people use you? I guess, I see the trucks everywhere, and they're a UPS store. I always thought for the longest time, I thought UPS was part of the federal government. I thought it was because it's got that name. It sounds like it's like part of the post office, but it's not. And then it had those brown, remember the brown UPS mailboxes that were next to mailboxes, which are there mailboxes anymore? I can't remember the last time I saw a mailbox. How do people mail? I don't know. Anyway, UPS, there might be a strike. Act accordingly. Let's see here. How about Governor Kemp? Governor Kemp there of Georgia. He's flirting with the idea of running in 2024. He has not said anything about it, but a bunch of experts are saying, well, you got to look out. He's going to jump into this race because he's looking at the Republican challengers, and he's saying this is a field I can win. Kemp is popular in Georgia. I mean, he won he beat the crap out of Stacey Abrams in Georgia, in a state that Biden won, in a state that voted for 2 Democratic senators. And the very Republican, very conservative Kemp, very popular in Georgia, he ran roughshod over Stacey Abrams, got his reelection. Typically, that's when these guys start to look at presidential runs. People are looking to Kemp. They're thinking that he is the guy. He is a Republican that could get independent voters. And that's really going to be the trick for whoever comes out of the Republican primary. Can you get the independents? Doesn't matter about... Look, all the Republicans are just going to be like monkeys in a house just throwing shit at each other until one of them comes out covered in shit, right? They're going to be like, that's me. And all the other Republicans will have done the Oppo research for the other party, which one, I guess the Democrats, because in the primaries, it's going to be, well, you did this here's blackface of you in 1985. They're going to do all that for them. So whoever emerges out of the Republican Party is going to be like completely beat up, because it's going to get ugly. Trump is going to destroy everybody. Trump is going to find stuff on everybody. So people are thinking that Kemp might be the guy that, could be it. I don't know. I don't know if about him, honestly. Yeah, I know he stood up to Trump. I know that's it. Like, right? Isn't that all we know about Kemp, is that if you love Trump, you have to hate him? Yet apparently a lot of people who still love Trump in Georgia voted for him. So, well, they weren't going to vote for Stacey Abrams. That's for damn sure. Also, we got some Gavin Newsom news. There's another dude, Gavin Newsom. He's the, Is he the governor of California? He's been a lot of things. Didn't he have something to do with San Francisco at some point? I don't know. He's flirting with running, but he can't because he's being a good party guy right now, and he's actually out campaigning for Biden. But people are like, oh, geez, this guy, look at him. He looks like John Kennedy. He's a handsome son of a bitch. Tall, wears a good suit, speaks well. I don't know. I don't know enough about Gavin Newsom. Here's what I know. About Gavin Newsom, and this bothers me. Gavin Newsom was married to Kimberly Guilfoyle for a long time. They were like the most powerful couple in San Francisco. And of course, Kimberly Guilfoyle is now engaged to Don Jr. How are you a woman who is both in love with Gavin Newsom, who is by all, it's a libtard. I mean, he's a libtard. And I use that term lovingly. I've been called a libtard. I have. It doesn't bother me. I think it's cute. Gavin Newsom is in a loving relationship with this Kimberly Guilfoyle, and then they get a divorce, and then she runs to Don Jr. That woman has no principles. That woman has no moral anchor because you just can't. You can't love that and that. They're like two completely differently wired individuals. One is like hippy dippy liberal, and at some point you're like, I love you, you hippy dippy liberal. And then the other one is like, I'm crazy, I'm a silver spooned asshole. And you're like, I love you, crazy silver spooned asshole. Right? How do you love both of those? So maybe this is more of an indictment against Kimberly Guilfoyle than it is Gavin Newsom, because she was hot. Like, I see why Gavin, she was hot. Not now, she's not. Now she's like, whoo, relax, lady. All right, just, let it go. She's I'm saying she's got a lot of doctor friends, and she probably spends a lot of time on their tables. I don't have any. Look at her is all I'm saying. Look at her when she was married to look at Kimberly Guilfoyle when she was married to Gavin Newsom. Yeah, man, she was really hot, and now she's like, whoo. It's an interesting thing. Anyway, they're trying to push Gavin Newsom to get into the race. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I don't like Biden. I don't like Trump. I don't like, you know what? Whatever. Just give me like 50 guys. Just give me like 50 people. And cocaine was found at the White House. Cocaine. Stop it. Like the first time someone's done cocaine in the White House. Hamilton Jordan had to step down as White House chief of staff. He was doing giant rails off the desk. Chief of staff. Okay, this is they found like we don't even know how much they found. We know remnants, not a significant amount, but they found. I guess it was in like maybe a little plastic, like a little like fucking what are they called, dirt bag, club kid baggies, like filled with like dust or whatever. Because here's what I know about dudes who like coke: they don't leave their coke around. They might leave an empty Coke baggie around, but there ain't gonna be any Coke in it. So it was probably tested, and they found, whatever. It was in the library of the West Wing, and so they found Coke. It was found Sunday night around 8 something, and uniformed Secret Service police officers discovered it. Nobody knows how long it was there. I don't know. We haven't heard very much, but I'll tell you what I have heard a lot of. Oh, it's absolutely Hunter Biden's. It is absolute laptop. Throw Hillary in jail. It's absolutely, without a doubt, it is absolutely Hunter Biden's, because those people in the White House who are there 23 and a half out of the 24 hours a day, they're in their 20s. They're freaking. Do you know how hard it is for those people? You don't think any of them are doing bumps in the bathroom in order to stay dialed into whatever research they're doing at 2:00 in the morning? There has been cocaine and all this kind of stuff in every aspect of high pressure situations. You'll find it. So look. Hunter Biden, maybe that'd be fun. Oh, that'd be hysterical. If it turns out to be Hunter Biden, look, I'm rooting for that. I think that'd be hysterical. Because it's just like, talk about tripping over your own dick. Talk about an own goal. Talk about a dad who is really being put in a position where he's got to go, what are you doing to me, kid? I'm kind of rooting for that. But you idiots don't know that it's him. You idiots are just throwing this shit, because that's why you have no credibility. It's Hunter Biden. There's a guy, he's streaming, and he says he's got proof. No, he doesn't. There's no proof. You don't know. You know what they might, I'll tell you what. Here's what might happen, though. They might pin it on somebody. They might bust, some low-level staffer. Might take, because they're not going to get nature. You know what I mean? They might be getting taken care of. You know what I mean? Just take this one for us, please. We know it's Hunter's. We know it's Hunter's, but we can't take this shit right now. We got Gavin Newsom. They want him to run. Come on. Anyway, there you have it. Cocaine was found at the White House on Sunday. Sharks. You guys get some serious shark action going on. First of all, in New York, Long Island or the Hamptons. Oh, it's the Hamptons. That's right. Which I am all for. I am all for shark-infested waters in the Hamptons. Thank you. Thank you, God. That's a gift from God. But this one here, I got some video for you. There are a bunch of shark attacks in the Hamptons this weekend. I don't know if anybody died. I would think, seriously, it's like shark attack. I'm like, well, they're dead, right? But no, people survive these things all the time. I don't know if I want to survive a shark attack. I don't know if I want to survive having a chunk of, like I'm a cookie, like having a chunk of me taken out. Because I got to imagine, like, at least the next after that happens, like after the shark takes a bite out of you like you're a cookie, the next 45 minutes are just gonna be the worst that anyone could ever go through. At some point they're gonna get you all like numbed up, and the ambulance will be there, and they'll whatever. Maybe even you might go into shock. But okay, first of all, you get a bite taken out of you like you're a cookie by a shark, right? So you're wide open, and you're making your way back. You've survived it, and you're making your way back to the beach. Dude, you're in salt water. Oh my God. Oh my God. How much is that hurt? How much? My leg is gone and I'm in salt water. Oh, geez. So look, shark, just finish the job. Eat me. Honestly, at my age, we're looking at limited returns from this point out with me. Just go ahead and eat me. Just enjoy, Mr. Shark. Because honestly, I don't need the next 45 minutes of my life because it's gonna hurt. Everything's gonna be bad. Here is a shark situation that happened in Florida on the 4th of July. Here, we'll show you this. Okay, hold on. Okay, it's spinning. It's gonna take a minute here. A good time to remind you to tip the show if you feel so inclined. We do operate these shows, 5 of them, Monday through Friday. Commercial. Venmo, Cash App, all that stuff. Right there, you can help out the show. Appreciate you. Think of us. All right, here's video of a shark. Wait a second. I'm going to make it big for you. This is insane. This is absolutely nuts. Watch this video. Get really close to your monitor. I'll try and make it as big as possible. Here we go. God, every time I share something. Are we still there? Can you guys tell me, are we still there? Chat room, say something. I don't know why this happens. Every time I share something, I'm having trouble sharing again. Bear with me, folks. And by the way, we're not going anywhere. We're good. We're good. We're not in any hurry. But I got to show you this. Oh, boy. Anybody in the chat room? All right, I'm going to reboot it again. Here we go. Nobody in the chat room is. All right, I think we're back. All right, I had to reboot again. I had to reload, I guess, because every time I share something, hold on. Okay, I'm back. You never went away, Pugs. We can see you, the screen, and each other. Okay, I lose stuff on my side. Like everything locks up and it tells me to reload. All right, I'm getting instructions from the man. He is, of course, Ed. Ed says, it's fine. Nothing is broken on the viewer side. Okay, then I'm just going to ignore that from now on. I apologize. On my side, I get a big bubble that comes up and says, oops, something went wrong, reload. And on my side, the chat room disappears. So I'm of the impression that something's wrong. So I'll just muscle through it from now on. Although then I won't be able to get the chat room back unless I reload. Maybe I will. I don't know. We'll see. Let's try this again. All right, hold on. We're going to try it one more time because I want to show you this video. Oh, there we go. All right, watch this. Try and get as close as you can. See how big I can make it for you. All right, it just happened again. So we'll play it anyway. Here you go. Boop. Right here. Oh,
Get out of the water! Good God, people!
these people are all running. I'm going to for you. All right, here, right here. I don't know if you guys can see that. Right here. That's the shark. He's going up and down. There are just people. He's just swimming around people. Like he's not attacking anybody. There are a lot of people in the water.
Where did it go? Where did it go? There's somebody still out there.
Like these dudes, what are these dudes doing? This guy's got a ball in his hand. Do they not know that there's a shark?
They're still out there.
Look at these people all the way out here. Get out of that water. Are you kidding me? I just realized something. Ed, in his text to me, he's mad at me. And I know that he's mad at me because he called me John. It's like, John, it's fine. Nothing is broken on you. Yeah. Anyway, there you go. Sharks in the water all over. And yep, now I gotta. So how do I see the chat room? All right, give me 1 second here. Try this one more time. You know what it might be? It might be that I haven't like well, never mind. Page unresponsive. All right. I think it's back now. One last time, chatter. You know, I'm just not going to screw with this anymore today. So I'm not going to be sharing anything else. Are we back? Thank you, Frankie. There's my guy, Frank Smith. Look at him. Thumbs up for you, Frank. I'm glad we're back. I don't know if you could see those sharks or whatever, but it was crazy. Gators. All right. How about this one? How about a gator? A gator killed an old lady, not even an old lady, 69 years old. I mean, that's older, but well, I guess that might be kind of an old lady. Gator killed an old lady. Alligator killed 69-year-old lady in South Carolina while she was walking her dog. 10-foot beast is found guarding her mutilated body near where fishermen cheated death last week. What is this story? 69-year-old woman just walking down her street in her neighborhood with her dog is eaten by a 10-foot alligator. And then the body she's dead. And so the corpse is just like, he's going to share a little for later. The body is found, or however it happens. Does she scream? Did this happen in front of people? Oh my God, what a way to go. But at least, the alligator finished the job, because just like with sharks, I don't want to be a human cookie. I don't want somebody to take a bite out of me. No, thank you. Finish the job. Don't, come on. Maybe a nice clean, because look, it's like I say, if I'm ever standing face to face with a bear, I'm going to punch that bear right in the face as hard as I can. Why? Because I know it's over. I know that. Just make it quick. Make it quick. Alligator kills 69-year-old woman as she walks her dog. A 10-foot alligator killed a 69-year-old woman in South Carolina before being found guarding its victim's mutilated body. The woman, who has not yet been identified, was walking her dog when the beast attacked on Tuesday morning in the second fatal gator attack in the county in under a year. The gator was found guarding the victim's mutilated body at the edge of a lagoon near her home and a golf club. She lives on a golf course community. This is like a nice place. It's got to be a nice place. Trailer homes on golf courses, right? I mean, and it's South Carolina, so it's probably a nice golf course because they've got good year-round golfing. Anyway, my point is this. Why would anyone live? Why would do you have to be born there? Well, I've been born in South Carolina. We got gators our whole life. It's normal. No, it's not normal. It is not normal to have to, be concerned in your everyday life with being eaten by a wild animal. That's not normal. And you people just, the lunacy of it becomes your normal because that's all you've ever known. But you've known something that's bizarre and abnormal your whole life. Okay, get out of there. Or just go in and kill all the alligators. How dare you build a home or a subdivision or a neighborhood, and you still, it's like, I have a friend who lives in Wisconsin. I've told this story before, but I'm talking to him on the phone, and we're talking, and he's like, he's driving home from work, and he pulls into his driveway in Wisconsin, and he goes, He's, oh, damn. I go, what? He's like, well, I got a few minutes. He goes, we wrapping up the phone. He's like, well, I'm pulling in, I'm home, so I'm going to let you go. And I'm like, oh, that's fine. And then he goes, oh, damn. I go, what? He goes, well, it looks like I got a couple minutes here. I'm like, why? What's going on? He's like, God, there's a bear in my driveway. I'm like, what? There is a bear in your driveway and you can't get it. This is now going to impede. What if you had to poop? That was the first thing I thought, because how many times you've been in your car, and you're like, oh, God, I'm going to make it. And then you get home and there's a bear in your driveway. So you have to wait like 5 minutes. You have to like, get up. You got to hit the horn. That's insanity. Why are you living somewhere where there is a possibility of a bear killing you or your child or your kid or whatever? I don't get it. Same question I could ask to those San Francisco ladies with the nannies and the ones that are being attacked by gangs of little preteen kids with baseball bats. Why are you living there? You have roaming bands of preteens with so I don't know. Animals are a little different. Why are the people swimming in the water where they know there's? I don't go in the ocean. I ain't going in the ocean. I hate the ocean. The ocean sucks. What do you love about the ocean? Is it because it's the only thing there and so you're pretending like it's great? The ocean sucks. There's nothing good about the ocean. It's salt water. You can't even drink it. It's not going to sustain life on this planet. All it does is make travel difficult. That's the only thing that the ocean does. Yeah, it's pretty. They can be about 1/100th the size. How about that? How about if we just make the ocean smaller? Well, some might say we're trying to do that. No, we're making the oceans grow. Or are they drying out? I don't even know how that works. Climate change. I don't involve myself in such divisive things. Yeah, oceans. Yeah, ocean. I would, you know what? Let me tell you something. I would love to go to Australia. Oh, I would love to go. You know why I'm not going to Australia? Because the damn ocean. The ocean's too big. It has made that a trip that I just can't even consider. So when you're telling me that they're sharks, it's like, let's all go to the ocean. No, thank you. I'll take a lake. I grew up on the Great Lakes. The Great Lakes, that's how it's done. You get everything you want from the ocean, you get with the Great Lakes. Don't want to be able to see the other side? Want the lake to disappear into the horizon like it's an endless sea? We got that. You want to be able to swim in it, and if you happen to take a mouthful of the water, you're not going to gag and throw up because it's not like 100% salt? We got that. How about swimming without worry that there's going to be a shark or something like that? We got that. We got lake sturgeon. That's like the biggest thing. They're like these 15-foot lake sturgeon. But they're sturgeon. They ain't going near you. And trust me, you ain't swimming anywhere near them. Oceans. I hate oceans. And I hate people who live near gators and bears. Moving on. Why? Why are you living near gators and bears? All right, what else we got here? Let's see. Here's a crazy story. It's a crazy story, but let's not lose track of the fact that it's a human story. Somebody died here, okay? So, I mean, the details of it are crazy, interesting, fascinating even. I want to know more. I want to know what this was about. What was the motivation? So a dude breaks into a Lowe's. You know Lowe's? A dude breaks into a Lowe's store and he steals a forklift. He gets inside and he steals a forklift. And he starts trucking around. He's destroying the Lowe's and he's having some fun. He decides he's going to take the forklift out on the road. I don't know what he's on. He's got to be on. He doesn't appear to be stealing anything for any financial gain. He's just, reaping mayhem. He broke in, stole the forklift from the Lowe's. Drives through the outer gates of the Lowe's at their garden segment. Knocks it down. And he's driving in the forklift. And he goes out into the parking lot over the curb. And I don't know how fast these things go. He drives all the way across the parking lot to where there's a Lowe's, there's a Home Depot. That's right. So he drives from the Lowe's to the Home Depot, which is on the other side of the parking lot. And while he's going through the Lowe's, he's clipping cars with the forklift. I mean, there's I guess it's late at night, so there's not a lot of cars, but he sees one car sitting there and he's on the forklift and he starts driving towards the forklift and he drives over the top of the forklift. I mean, what is this, a monster truck forklift? I don't know what this is. There was a woman sleeping in the car, some sad homeless lady. Or she got a car, but she's homeless. So think about that. The car's all she's got. And now this idiot in a forklift is just like wrecked her. She doesn't have insurance. She's living in her car. She doesn't have insurance. So she gets out and she's like, what are you doing? You crazy? Dude turns the forklift and runs her down. She starts booking through the parking lot of the Home Depot from this dude on a stolen Lowe's forklift, and he runs her over. She's dead. Think about that. Oh my God. I mean, she's already living in her car. What is that? Oh, tell me about your God again. I mean, this woman, she's already been through hell. She is living in her car. Possibly, much due to decisions that she has made in her life. But that doesn't change the fact that she's a human being who's going through some stuff. You got to have some compassion for that on some level, or else, I'm just saying, have a little compassion. So she's already got like really bad stuff. She's living in her car. Starts out, she's woken up. That sucks. Then she notices her car is screwed. And that ain't getting fixed. Now the car's got to sit there in the parking lot. She gets out to tell the guy, hey, why did you make my life even harder? It's already hard. And he turns the forklift on her and he chases her down. That's crazy. The dude, want to know a little bit about the dude? I kind of do. He is, let's see here. A man has been arrested and charged in connection with an incident in which a woman was killed after being hit and run over by a stolen forklift in Waldorf, Maryland. Officers responded to the burglary and theft in progress at the Lowe's Home Improvement Store at 12:40 a.m. on July the 2nd. According to the sheriff's office, the suspect, who has been identified as Bryce Caleb Timothy Brown, 20, had broken into Lowe's, stolen a forklift, and rammed it through the rear gates. 20 years old. Idiot, man. Jeez. He just ran this woman down. A woman who was asleep in a car got out when the forklift struck her car. She then began to run away. Brown followed her in the forklift, struck her, and then ran her over before stealing her car and fleeing the scene. Officers responding to the initial burglary found Gloristine Pinkney, 73, dead underneath the forklift. 73-year-old woman. Jeez Louise. Good Lord. Living in her car, run over by a forklift. Again, tell me about your God. I mean, terrible. What an unbelievably tragic series of events. Brown was arrested Sunday evening, and detectives found the victim's car near his house. He's lazy too. Didn't want to walk too far after ditching the car. All right, there you go. So that happened in Maryland. Allison Mack is trending. Do you guys know who Allison Mack is? She was an actress. She was on Smallville. She did a couple of other things. I, recognized her from some stuff. Allison Mack became a bigger name than she was as an actress because she was involved in that Invidium sex cult. Do you guys remember? Invidium sex cult? There's this guy. He was like, oh, man, I don't get it. This dude started a cult, and it was like basically a sex cult for him. And he got like actresses, like working actresses, to like do his bidding and like recruit girls that then he would turn into sex slaves and stuff. Anyway, you can learn all about it in Vixium or something like that. Allison Mack was sentenced to like a whole bunch of years in prison, but then she ended up turning on this dude who was at the head of the cult, and so she only got a couple of years in prison. Allison Mack was out of prison today. She was released, and she said sorry. And seriously, no, she did. She was like, yeah, I'm sorry. That was bad. I don't know what I was thinking. She's like, I totally regret that. You were somebody. I don't understand these people. I've said this a lot. I mean, and maybe this is because I have this skill. I don't even know if it's a skill, but it's a thing that I have. I can tell if you're an asshole. Like, I can meet you, and within the first like minute of you and I being, hey, how are you? Nice to meet you. I can tell if you're an asshole, and I will size you up, and I am right 99.9% of the time. I mean, unless I'm given some other information like, oh, he just got off the phone with his girlfriend, she dumped him. Something like that. I'll make some accommodations for things that might be changing who you are. But I'm a pretty good judge of character. I can do that right away. I don't understand how people fall for these cults. Are they so weak of will that they just want somebody else to be responsible for them? That they just want to have to do everything somebody else says because that's easier than the fright of being responsible for your own actions? I don't know. I'm responsible for my own actions. Let me tell you, my actions have not led to a great place, but at least I'm responsible for them. Take full. Nobody led me here. I'm happy. I'm very happy. My son's downstairs playing video games. We're totally cool. But my point is this: I never understood cults. I just don't understand how people just turn their minds over to somebody else and they just become only that thing. We see it in politics. We've seen it so much in politics over the last couple of years. Like, we're out at the lake. Boats are boating culture. So we just spent like a whole bunch of days at the lake because it was 4th of July. Boating culture is very Trumpy. There's a lot of Trumpy dudes voting culture. And here's my theory on that. Here's why I think boat culture is very Trump. You see a lot of like Trump flags like on these boats. Here's the thing, because boat guys aren't like millionaires. Boat guys are dudes that own like a car dealership. They own a couple of hardware stores. They're good for their neighborhood. They make good money and they're kind of rich guys. Maybe they own a bar or two. You know what I mean? Maybe 3 bars, whatever. But we're not talking about, the Mark Zuckerbergs or the Elon Musks. We're just talking about neighborhood rich guys. So they're at this certain level of being a rich guy. They're not at the super level of being a rich guy where nothing can hurt them ever. So what they're doing is they're just completely into preserving what they have. So that's, those are boat guys. And those guys are pretty much the Trump core. If you are like a 60-year-old guy who owns like, 3 muffler shops outside Dayton, you probably got a boat and you totally voted for Trump, right? You watch Fox News and all that stuff. So that's the boat culture. Now, I love those people. I'm out there with them every weekend. But, the boat culture says that everybody's got to wave. You ever notice that? How everybody on boats, when you pass them, you're on the jet ski, and you pass a boat and everybody's like, hi. Everybody's so friendly. Boat culture is so friendly. I decided yesterday, 4th of July, that I waved at everybody. I waved around. You know who I don't wave to? I don't wave to people who have Trump flags. But, to be fair, I also don't wave to anybody who's flying the pride flag. You want to know why? Because I'm so sick of you people. I'm not talking about you guys in the chat room because you guys are all cool. Or I'm not talking about anybody that's listening to this at a later date on YouTube or Facebook or however it is you choose to listen, radiomisfits.com, whatever it is. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about everybody else. If you choose to define yourself by how you voted, stop it. You are such a bore. Go back to defining yourself by your favorite TV show. Go back to defining yourself by your football team or your college alma mater. Stop it with the politics. Why would anybody want to be defined by their allegiance to a politician? You people are nuts. Stop it. This isn't normal. Go back to loving the Yankees or whatever the hell it is you used to do before Trump or Biden or hating Hillary or whatever, before that became your entire brand. Stop it. Stop putting bumper stickers on your car so that when people see you out in public, they know how you voted, because that's the only way you want to be defined by other people. Stop it. Stop it. It's ridiculous. Go back to loving the Lion King or whatever the hell it was. Be collecting Beanie Babies, whatever the hell it was you used to be into that used to be your thing. And stop defining yourself solely by your politics, please. And don't join cults. Allison Mack, there we go. Look at us. We came all the way back around. Allison Mack was released from prison today after joining that Exvidium cult. Bowen Yang is trending. You know Bowen Yang? He's the guy on Saturday Night Live who... everybody loves Bowen Yang. Bowen Yang. Oh my God, Bowen Yang is so funny. Oh, I hope there's a Bowen Yang. Bowen Yang is fine. All right, there you go. You got it from me. I am the nation's foremost expert on Saturday Night Live watching. That's right, Saturday Night Live watching. Nobody's better at watching Saturday Night Live than me. I've seen every episode. It's one of my great party tricks. I've seen every episode of Saturday Night Live ever produced. Why? Because when I was younger, I used to record. Well, first of all, when I was little, I watched it every single night from episode 1. It was like a big treat. I was very young and it was sort of like naughty and it became my thing. And I never missed an episode. Then VCRs came in and I just recorded it every single night and I would watch it whenever I want. So I recorded every episode of Saturday Night Live. Then, everything became available on demand and stuff. I've seen every episode of Saturday Night Live. So, when people tell me that they think Bowen Yang is like, he's the funniest guy, I'm like, no, he's not. He's like, if there's been like 200 cast members of Saturday Night Live, Bowen Yang isn't even in the top 150 for me. He's like, okay. I mean, he's fine. I don't hate him. I don't hate any of those people. But, he's like, ugh. Anyway, he's having a bit of a thing. He's having an issue. Bowen Yang is stepping away from his popular podcast. He's not stepping away from Saturday Night Live because that's how, daddy gets paid. But he's stepping away from his podcast. Bowen Yang is putting himself first, y'all. The Saturday Night Live star announced that he's taking a break from his podcast to treat bad bouts of depersonal. I've never heard of this. I've never heard of this. But as someone who suffers from depression, and oh man, it's been bad. I'm going through it right now. As a matter of fact, I'm a little bit manic right now, like I'm spinning out of it. But the last 5 days, and again, it's not triggered by anything. It's just, I don't know. If you know, if you don't, you don't. It just sounds, so you don't talk about it. You don't, because it sounds like you're complaining because most people can't understand it. And so they're like, oh, well, it's fucking toughen up, pussy. And it's like, yeah, okay, I get that. So I'm just going to shut up. Anyway, I'm all about people being more in touch and aware of their, mental hurdles, their mental difficulties that they're having, because we all have them. We all have them. And if you're one of these people that are like, I don't have any kind of mental problems, that's your mental problem, that you're way too wrapped up in your own ego. And you think that, having a mental issue of some sort is a black mark against you. It's not. We all have these things. It's about figuring out how to make our minds work. We're not all. Anyway, Bowen Yang says he's suffering from something that I have never heard of before. Depersonalization. He says he's stepping away from his podcast because he's experiencing bad bouts of depersonalization, a condition where he believes things around him aren't real. Like tripping? Like when you're tripping and you're like, all right, that elephant riding that unicycle isn't real, right? Tripping like that? No, I don't know. Look, I'm trying to be, trying to be sensitive here because I believe that we all have, if you just because you don't understand this, just because this isn't something you're going through, doesn't mean it's not a real thing. It just means that you're blessed to not have to understand what depersonalization is. I don't know a condition where one believes things around them aren't real. Taking a very short, he says he's taking a very short break from his podcast due to bad bouts of depersonalization. They've effed me up bad, but I'm doing my best to get better, he wrote on his Instagram story. Please take care. Be soon. Depersonalization. Depersonalization, often associated with people who've experienced trauma, is a psychological condition in which people have out-of-body experiences that cause them to believe that things around them aren't real. This, according to the Mayo Clinic. On Bowen Yang told People magazine that his parents once sent him to a gay conversion camp. He's gay. To a gay conversion camp. There was a huge chasm of misunderstanding. Neither side really understood where the other was coming from, and it led to very dangerous situations overall, he said. What was always constant was the intention of love from both sides. It pushed me into questioning what it meant. What was, I don't care. So he's okay. Trauma. That's his trauma. We all have trauma. We shouldn't mock anybody's trauma. Here's why we shouldn't mock anybody's trauma. Because when we do, what we tend to do is project how we feel we'd handle it. Like this trauma right here, right? Like I listen to this trauma and I go, really? That's it? You got sent to gay conversion camp? And you were confused because they were nice to you? That's your trauma? Okay. See, I would love to be able to sit in judgment, right? But I can't, because maybe that did affect him in a way that I don't understand. I can mock you for not being as mentally superior as I am, although I'm not mentally superior to anyone. I got all kinds of things going on here. I want to make fun of this, but I don't feel comfortable doing it. I don't want to make fun. I feel like I should. I feel instinctively like I should make fun of this revelation from Bowen Yang that he has this thing called depersonalization. But I don't want to. Well, whatever. Hey, I hope you get better. And whatever. Take some time off from Saturday Night Live. I'm not a big fan. okay, I was going to do this story. I don't want to play this. I was going to play a segment from Fox News over the weekend where they just gratuitously promoted Bud Light. It is so funny. I can't play it because we're having trouble sharing things. Over the weekend, Bud Light talked to some dude, some amazing dude, he's a former, like lifelong Marine Corps guy or whatever. And now he's got some charity, and it's a great charity, and it really does a lot of good work. He was talking about it, and he scholarships for the children of veterans who have, didn't come home. And so Fox News is talking about that on 4th of July weekend. And what a wonderful thing, right? These kids, they lost their parents because we sent them off to fight a war that, we elected a guy who sent them to war, right? So whatever, we should take some responsibility. So it's good that we keep these kids in our thoughts because they're growing up now without a dad or a mom or whatever it is that they lost. So this dude has this really wonderful charity. And in the middle of the charity, he pulls up a bottle of Budweiser and he goes, I think everybody needs to know that the whole reason that this charity exists is because Anheuser-Busch has been supporting it for the last 5 years. And the guy on Fox News, it was Steve, I think was it Ducey? I don't know. So whoever it was on Fox News, they got a little uncomfortable at first because they didn't know how they were going to handle it, but then they just rolled into it, and good for them. And it's just like, yeah, you know what? Anheuser-Busch, they didn't mention the whole Bud Light thing, but it was so obviously a ploy to get people who, think they shouldn't be drinking Bud Light this 4th of July weekend to understand that Bud Light also does a lot of things in a lot of different areas. And maybe just because you don't like that tranny girl or trans girl, whatever, I'm sorry, made a big stink about something, maybe that's a problem. But also we're putting orphaned kids of American military through college. So maybe don't drive us out of business. And I just chuckled. I wanted to show you the segment, but we can't show you the segment. Best country list. There's a new list that ranks all the countries in the world. Guess what? United States, where do we come in? We're number one. We're number one. We're number one. Not even close. We are not even close. Let's see what they're saying. The best countries on the planet are. 2023 best countries on the planet. This is some German university that puts this list out every year. Unterschwingen University puts this out. I made that up, but whatever. You didn't know that until I told you. Number one, the best country. Should we do the top 10? Should we do the top 10? Let's do top 10 in descending order. These are the best countries in the world. Now, how do they view this? They view this by income. They view this by healthcare. They view this by crime, and they view this by education opportunities, healthcare, lack of crime, income, average medium income, and job opportunities. Okay, so those are the 5 criteria that determine who the best countries in the world are. Remember, only in America. Remember that, only in America. Number one, or no, we're going to start at number 10. We're going to start at number 10. The number 10, the best country on the planet, Germany, comes in at number 10. Number 9, best country on the planet, New Zealand, comes in at number 9. Number 8, best country on the planet, Belgium comes in at number 8. Number 7 is Norway. Number 6 is Luxembourg. Number 5 is Estonia. Estonia? Wait a second. Estonia? Estonia is number 5? Are we sleeping on Estonia? Do we think it's like, Chechnya or something like that? Number 4, Netherlands. Number 3, Denmark. The number 2 best country in the world to live based on education, healthcare, income opportunity, lack of crime, infrastructure. That's the other thing. Australia is number 2. Do I even need to say number 1? We're number 1. We're number 1. No, we're not. The number 1 country in the world is Singapore. We didn't even make the top 10. Yeah, we did not make the top 10. But of course, we just missed the top 10 because we're number 11. No, we're not number 11. Number 11 is Finland. Then 12 is Seychelles. The Seychelles, those islands where all the big money is. Number 13 is the United Kingdom. Number 14 is Sweden. And number 15 is Portugal. That's right. So, of course, the United States has got to be number 16. No, we're not number 16 either. That's Latvia. Number 17 is Uruguay. Number 18 is Switzerland. Number 19 is Japan. Number 20 is France. There you have it. The top 20 countries to live, the best countries to live. income opportunity, healthcare, lack of crime, educational opportunities, and infrastructure. The United States of America, if you're wondering, comes in at 23. We're 23. We're 23. We are 22 is Malta. Malta. Malta is a better country to live in currently than the United States of America at 23. 24, we're just this much better than Czechia. Is that where, like, is that Czechia? Is Czechia the same as Chechnya, or am I just saying those wrong? I don't know. I'm an idiot. Let's move on from this. There you have it. United States of America. According to some German university, it puts this list out every year. We are 23. Yeah, you know what? Look at this. We can't do any more of this stuff. I had a really crazy story about a tornado that happened, and I had video I wanted to show of that, but I don't want to show video right now. We're having issues every time I try to show video. So I think what's going to have to happen is I'm just going to have to reboot everything, and hopefully whatever the issue is, it's probably a restream issue. I also wanted to talk about Killer of the Flower Moon is trending. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Killer of the Flower Moon. That's the new Scorsese film. It stars Leonardo DiCaprio, and oh my God, does it look good. I was going to show you the trailer. Oh my God, you guys. All right, so here's the story. I'd never heard this story. It's a true story. It's Martin Scorsese telling the true story of the Osage Indians, the Osage Indian tribe. Now, this looks to be about 1920s or something, maybe even before that. But the Osage Indians were given, all of this garbage land as their tribal land. And it turned out this garbage land had oil on it, and lots of oil, huge money. So the Osage Indian tribe in this particular part of the world, which I think is Oklahoma, Missouri, that part of the world, the Osage Indian tribe in the 20s and in the 30s and 40s or whatever, they were super rich. They were like super rich Indian tribe before casinos, because their garbage land that, the federal government gave them. Here, have this garbage land. Nothing grows there. And it has oil. So all of a sudden they're super rich. So the Killer of the Flower Moon is Martin Scorsese telling the true story of what happened to these super rich Osage Indians when a whole bunch of carpetbaggers from New York City came in trying to get the money out of these savages' pockets. And there were murders, and oh my God. If you have an opportunity today to watch the trailer, the coming soon, the trailer to the Killers of the Flower Moon, watch it. I mean, Scorsese's amazing, and DiCaprio is amazing, and De Niro is in it. Oh my God, does this look good? Based on trailer alone, Oscar. This looks like it's certainly going to be considered one of the best films of the year. The cast, unbelievable. Jesse Plemons, first of all, Jesse Plemons is in it. If Jesse Plemons is in your film, that means it's a good movie, because somehow that dude does everything awesome. Jesse Plemons, Landry from Friday Night Lights. Remember him? And he's a big movie star now, and he's good. Super talent. Plano's own, I believe, Jesse Plemons. Killer of the Flower Moon. Be looking for that, the new Scorsese film. North Richland Hills, we'll end it with this. Happy day to North Richland Hills, because yesterday on the 4th of July, apparently they set a new Guinness Book of World Records. That's right, the home of bell bottoms, North Richland Hills. North Richland Hills 4th of July drone show sets new Guinness World Record. The 10-minute aerial ballet of drones also became the largest drone light show ever flown in Texas. While fireworks are always popular on the 4th of July, drones are starting to add another dimension to the holiday. Again, that's fine. I love that. I love the added dimension of drones for the holiday. Love it. But it can't be just drones and no fireworks. It's got to be fireworks and drones. It can't be a situation where we're replacing fireworks with drones. Why? Because fireworks, it's explosives. Don't give me that bullshit. You know what I mean? Fireworks are dangerous. Yeah, you know what? So are drones. Just ask the insurgents there in the Middle East. Don't tell me fireworks are dangerous. Anyway, I would have no problem with fireworks and drones, right? That's if we're going again, drones need to be an add-on. While fireworks are always popular on the 4th of July, drones are starting to add another dimension to the holiday. Monday night's 4th of July drone show in North Richland Hills set a Guinness Book World Record. The record is for the largest aerial sentence formed by a multi-roto drone. So it's like a million drones go up and they spell a word. That's what it is. Sky Elements Drones teamed up with the Northeast Tarrant County Chamber of Commerce for the record-setting show at Birdville Independent School District. It featured 1,002 drones armed with bright LED lights. Anybody see it? Any of you? I mean, you guys. Yeah, there might be people there in the North Richland Hills area in the chat room. The intricate formations of drones created pictures and critical moments in American history, like landing on the moon and patriotic images like a bald eagle with an American flag. Sky Elements Drones say that it also broke a company record, producing 40 shows over the holiday weekend using more than 10,000 drones. Man, I love the drones. Are cool. I mean, I've seen really good. I saw the one in Dallas, like a year ago, or was it New Year's Eve? Couple of years ago. I think it might have just been New Year's Eve, where it was like, I remember an outline of a lady. It was all made with drones in the sky, like an outline of a lady, and she was drinking champagne out of a champagne glass. It was cool. But again, not at the expense of losing fireworks. We're not going to lose fireworks. Jeez Louise, you people. Trying to take all the fun out of everything. All right, that's going to do it for all the things that we have prepared on today's show. But as is often the case, I'm going to take a jump over here. Look at Twitter, see what's happening, lest I use up page views needlessly. All right, Scott Baio is trending. That's got to be for some absurdly dumb political. It's National Bikini Day. That's right. Because remember, the bikini was invented on this day, National Bikini Day. Nick Cage is trending. Why is Nick Cage trending? I know he's not dead, because if he was dead, he'd be trending number 1. He's trending number like 10, so that's got to be because of something stupid. What's the best Nick Cage movie? Okay, I'll play. What's the best Nick Cage movie? Wild at Heart. I think David Lynch's Wild at Heart is my favorite Nick Cage movie. And I've seen Nick Cage in a lot of things, but Wild at Heart, where he's the Elvis impersonator, but you know what? If we're going there, I guess I got to consider Honeymoon in Vegas. Oh, no, wait, was that Nick Cage? Wait, no, he was leaving Las Vegas. Wait, was he both? Wait, who was in Honeymoon in Vegas? Who's that? That was, I know it was Sarah Jessica Parker. Wait, is that the one where Robert De Niro offered Demi Moore money for sex? Oh my God, what's that? That's Indecent Pursuit. I'm so confused. I have no idea. This is what happens when you get old. All these movies just blend into one similar plot line. All right, so let's not worry about that. Dirk is trending. Why is Dirk trending? There's only one Dirk that we recognize around here, so let's click on it and see why Dirk is trending. Let's see. If I want to win actual bet. All right, I don't know. Never mind. Are they comparing? Oh, people are comparing Kevin Garnett to Dirk. I don't know. That's a hard one. People are being asked to choose. Who would you rather have, Kevin Garnett or Dirk Nowitzki? And I don't know. You know what? I do know. I'm going to go with that. Oh, wait a second. I didn't realize this, because remember, I've told the story about how I used to work. The show I was on was a partner, and we promoted the midnight basketball in Chicago. And I remember seeing a high school Kevin Garnett in Chicago Public League basketball, and everyone going, "That's KG. He's going straight to the pros." I'm like, God damn, look at him. He better go straight to the pros. So I kind of have a fondness for KG. But if I'm being honest, I mean, I watched almost all of Dirk's career from here. You know what I mean? I mean, I was here almost the entire time that he was playing. So, okay, if it's KG or Dirk, I'm going to go with Dirk. You can't lose with either one. I mean, you can't. They're both tremendous. You know what I mean? So it's like, oh, really? Who would you rather? Who would you rather? Heather Thomas from Fall Guy or Heather Locklear from what was she on? I don't know. You can't lose. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter which Heather you go with. All right, let's see. Anything else? Anything new? Chat, folks. Anything that I missed while I was anything new that I need to be talking about? Let's see here. There's a new Mission Impossible. Apparently there's a new Mission Impossible coming out. Have you seen Tom Cruise lately? Tom Cruise is like Two-Face. Like sometimes when you see Tom Cruise sitting down for an interview, you're like, wow, look at him. He looks great. But then when you see like Tom Cruise walking into a party or paparazzi line, or it's like, oh my God, he looks terrible. Tom Cruise was at a baseball game couple of like a year ago or something. It was like last summer. And people were like, they kept showing him in the crowd, and people were like, that guy kind of looks like Tom Cruise. It was Tom Cruise. It's just that Tom Cruise doesn't fully look like Tom Cruise anymore. Wow, because he's older. But still, it's weird. It's shocking. Do you know that I have never, ever seen a Mission Impossible movie? They look stupid. Like the first one, I remember when the first one came out, it looked stupid. I was like, ugh. I don't think so. I mean, look, you want to take off the title Mission Impossible and you want to call that a Jack Ryan movie, right? We want to do something like that. A Tom Clancy novel. That's fine. I can go with that, but I don't care. Mission Impossible looks stupid. That's not real espionage. This is just what idiot people think espionage is, right? Jack Ryan. Now that's the legit stuff. Jack Ryan. That's how the CIA actually works. Yeah, so I never saw a Mission Impossible movie, so I could care less about this new one that's coming out. Want to know something else I've never seen? Never seen a Fast or a Furious. Neither. Not a Fast nor a Furious. Never saw one. Why? Because when that movie first came out, when the first Fast and the Furious came out, I went, oh my God, this is a dumb meathead douchebag movie about cars. And I don't even like these kind of cars. These cars are stupid. These cars aren't even Ferraris and Lambos. They're like Nissan Sentras that are all, you know what I mean? So I never watched it. And then now there's like, 15 Fast and Furious movies? And everybody's like, no, dude, seriously, you need to watch it. And I understand that there are some truly, truly important cultural, things to be gained from Fast and Furious. Like, I don't get any Fast and Furious references. Like, people make them all the time. My kid makes them all the time. My kid loves them. I refuse to watch a movie. I'm going to have to stop. At some point, I'm going to have to watch all the Fast and Furious movies. But you know what? It has to get in line behind The Hobbit, because I've never seen any of the Hobbit movies. None of the Lord of the Rings movies. None of that stuff. That looked dumb to me. I'm like, this bunch of elves. What is this, a Muppet movie for 3 hours? I don't want to watch this. Pointy ears. This looks stupid. And I didn't watch any of those movies. And then like a couple of years later, I became like the biggest Game of Thrones fans. But I guess people will say, nah, they're not the same thing. And I'm like, okay, sci-fi fantasy. I'm out of time. Actually, I'm not out of time. I'm just out of things to talk about. I'm streaming now, and I'm probably about to say something that I'll regret. Not that there's anything that I want to say that I might regret. It's just that I could accidentally, just when I stream like this, say something that I didn't mean to say. I don't know. So I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go play with my kid. And then I got to do some other work. And then we'll see you tonight for the Radio Misfits show. Radio Misfits tonight at 9 o'clock. Myself and James Parker. Maybe be along. I don't know if he's going to be out at the boat, but whatever. He may or may not be along. We'll see how that goes. Tomorrow, every Monday through Friday, we do this. We do this every Monday through Friday at noon. Help us out if you can with a tip. This show runs. If you want to support or at least help us in our attempt to do some form of talk radio that isn't politically divisive or all about, we're a Republican show, or we're a liberal show. Who am I kidding? There's no such thing as liberal shows on radio. But I am trying to do something that is non-divisive. So if you want to promote that, you want to help us do that, you want to make it so that we can continue doing that, we certainly need your help right now. It's desperation time here at the end of the month or beginning of the month, but it's still end of the month because I ain't paid my bills yet. You can help us out with the Venmo. You can help us out with a PayPal. Drop a little tip. Treat me like I'm your bartender, whatever it is. We do appreciate it. Now is the time. If you've been thinking about it, maybe someday, well, now is the time. Please help us out. We're a good $200 short. And I don't want to have to sell myself on Harry Hines. You know what I mean? Because that's kind of where we are. Back tomorrow, back tonight at 9 o'clock. I love you guys. You guys are the best. Appreciate you. Is there anything else? I don't have a Leslie, goodbye to you. Ross, goodbye to you. Adam, my boy, goodbye to you. Thank you once again to all the people that have been scrolling at the bottom of the screen. That's a new thing that we're doing here. brought to my attention that maybe it's a good idea. I never wanted to do it because I didn't want to embarrass anybody, so I left last names off, and I'm certainly not going to include the amount that you tipped. That's a secret between you and me, and I thank you all. Some of you, a couple of you have asked in the past to not be mentioned. So I know, well, one of you, I say a couple to make it 10, but one of you, I know you don't want to be mentioned. So, but I'll continue adding to that. Thank you for those of you who support the show. Hopefully, maybe in a couple of weeks, we'll have this really cool long list of names. I am on a never-ending quest. Got nothing else. Bye, everybody. Love you. Have a great night. See you tonight at 9 o'clock for the Radio Misfits. 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, Monday through Thursday. Bye.